Well, good morning. We're here with both the captains of Pakistan and Afghanistan and the umpires for today's match ahead of coin toss. Is there anything you'd like to say to the captains before we get started?
Yes, just let's keep the game going and get the over rates through. We don't want to be calculating anything.
Anything in response?
I think that's important. We don't want any penalties, so we'll keep pushing it through.
Righto. Who is tossing the coin today? Adam.
Toss. Heads.
Heads is the call. And it's tails. Pakistan win the toss. That's tails. He called heads. My apologies. Afghanistan has won the toss, and you are...
We're going to bowl first.
Roger, come on in. Adam, come and chat to me. Sorry about that there. I did hear him call heads, but I thought it was you. So you've won the toss. Great. You've won every toss here, haven't you?
No, I'm 2 from 3, I think.
Not bad, but you've won both games, and that's most important because you're here and you're ready to take on Pakistan. Have you caught their games over the last couple of days?
Yeah, I have. They've got some good players, so it's good to be wary of them.
But you've got a plan to counteract that. Don't worry, he's not listening. You've got a plan to counteract it, right?
Yeah, we do. We just got to see how we go, and hopefully the wicket allows us to do what we need to do.
And speaking of the wicket, and in particular the outfield, it's been raining here in Melbourne overnight. The covers were on the pitch, though. You've obviously had some time to warm up here and get a feel for the field. What are your thoughts?
I think it'll be a bit slow on the slower side of the outfield. I think it'll only get better if there's no rain. I think the wicket should be hopefully decent as well.
And is that why you've elected to bowl first?
Yeah, the unpredictability of it, so just lean to the caution side. So.
Roger that. Well, thank you so much, Adam Amin, captain of Afghanistan. Good luck to you and your team this morning. Sahel Sadiq from Pakistan, come on in. I got that coin toss completely wrong. It was you calling heads, unfortunately losing the toss, but it means you're batting first. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
I think in the finals you want to bat first, and then you can see how hard chasing is here, especially with our bowling lineup. It's not going to be easy. So I was going to bat first anyways. So I got what I wanted.
Wow, good for you. Are you sure that's not a bit of mind games there? No, you're very happy.
No, I actually was going to bat. It's a final. You don't want to leave too much. Obviously bat first, put some runs on the board, and anything over 100 here, wicket looks still tacky. It's not going to be a good wicket. So you score 100 plus and you got a winning total.
Well, Afghanistan obviously won against Australia yesterday, who at the time posted the biggest total, and so Afghanistan had a big target to chase, and they chased it down, which was a surprise to some people. And then you were here watching that game yesterday afternoon and high-fived everyone when India won. So it seems to be going your way, but we've seen Afghanistan. They know how to play when it's on the line. What are you expecting from them?
Well, they're a good bunch of cricketers. We played against each other a lot during the club cricket. I know all the boys. They're hard workers. They're good fighters. That's what is expected from them. They're a good team, obviously, but we're gonna come out with a game plan how to counter that. We got decent bowling, more than decent, you can say. We got Mohammad Amir, 120 test wickets something. T20 specialist. So we got a plan for them. This is a big game, obviously, for us and for them as well. May the better team win.
May the better team win, but you want that to be you.
Absolutely.
What are you going to do to get it done? Because obviously you're both here in the finals for a reason. You've had a wonderful tournament so far. What's going to be the difference today?
Look, I think we're going to work hard for it. It's not going to be easy. It's a big game, semi-final. We need to work hard, and we'll do that. We'll give everything.
Wonderful. Well, thanks once again for your time. Sahel Sadiq.
I think we haven't had our best game yet, and that could be the one because we haven't batted well. So we've been bowling well, we've been fielding well, but batting hasn't come off yet. Maybe today is the day.
Well, hopefully for you. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck to Sahel Sadiq and the team from Pakistan. He's just said that we haven't seen his best teams batting yet, so keep your eye on today's match. Could go either way. Pakistan against Afghanistan very shortly.
and Pakistan. Would you please keep everybody standing for the national anthems of Afghanistan, followed by the national anthem of Pakistan.
Good morning, or good afternoon I should say. Welcome to Casey Fields at semi-final day in the Aussie Cricket League, the second edition of the Aussie Cricket League, and the first semi should be an absolute cracker. We've had a lot of rain around the Cranbourne, the southeastern suburbs area, so we've started a little bit later than the initial starting time of 12:30, but the ground has drained well, it's in pretty good shape, the pitch looks good. And we've got Afghanistan and Pakistan, the winner through to the grand final. Later on this afternoon, India and Sri Lanka, Australia and the World 11 did not get a win in their two pool matches, were eliminated yesterday. And the Afghan team have won the toss and they've elected to bat. And Afghanistan are quite happy with that. If there's a bit of rain around, which I'm told there's not much, there's a bit of blue sky starting to make its presence felt here at Casey Fields at the Cranbourne Cricket Club after a lot of rain around Melbourne over the last 12 hours or so. But Pakistan were happy to bat anyway, just in case Duckworth Lewis does get involved. My name's Dan Lonigan, a great pleasure to be here, and Darren Parkin is joining me for the first stint in commentary. Morning, Parko, semi-final day, always a lot on the line.
Absolutely, there's that little extra edge in the atmosphere around the venue. Obviously, we've had a bit of a rain delay first time this week, or we've had a bit of rain, as you say, around Melbourne. One of those tosses where both sides effectively got what they wanted. Pakistan said around here prior to the toss that they would have batted first. Afghanistan sending them in to get first use of the conditions. I know you saw Mohammad Amir on the way in, and him being the big fast bowler said, give me the pill whilst there's a bit of cloud cover, but Pakistan will bat first. We'll see him unleashed a little bit later on. Basit Ali played very well yesterday. Afghanistan, one of two undefeated teams in this tournament, and he will open up here against Pakistan, who were thrilled sitting around the change rooms yesterday when the Indian result went their way. I can't think of too many instances historically where Pakistan cricketers were delighted to see India win a game, but that was one of them.
Well, exactly right. We love Sahel, the captain. He likes being on the air. He had a good chat to Sam, our MC, beforehand.
Terrific fella.
And he believes their batting is ready. So Basit Ali will kick things off, and the first ball he bowls to Yusuf, who pushes into the offside and won't get a run. Basit Ali, as you said, Dash, 4 for 20. Got a number of wickets in the last over when Australia collapsed, losing 4 for 3. That included a team hat-trick for Bangladesh after the previous day. A number of teams had been on hat-tricks in the World 11 clash.
We just saw Afghanistan have 3 fielders run to back up then really sharp in the field early.
Basit Ali bowls again, and this time it's on the onside as the return hits the stumps, and he makes his ground comfortably. Selman. And
just to point on that, obviously yesterday we saw the World 11 a little bit tardy in the field, where often fielders didn't throw because there was no one backing up, or they'd throw wildly and fielders weren't ready. Afghanistan, who have been red hot in this tournament,
fielding's been great.
They hit the stumps that time, and the time before they were already in position and backing up. A lot of energy early from them.
Yeah, great return from side on, but he was home, Selman. Couple of changes in the Pakistan side. Hassan Ali comes in for Aziz, who's a big loss. He's gone to Bunnings, apparently, to get ready.
Do a bit of landscaping.
Yeah, that's the rumours floating around. And Abdul
There's a few of them around.
Come in for Pakistan as well, replacing Shaquille. Thank you to my comedy writer, Sam Richards, for providing me with that.
Lining up for a sausage, I'd imagine.
Yes. And Rian Saeed comes in for the Afghan team, and he replaces Sayed Akbar Shad. Yesterday, Adam Amin was outstanding with his 66.
So the umpires just wandered in here, and they're going to have a look.
Oh, there's rain, is there? Well, they're asking for a referral. The third umpire is there. He's out of his.
It was a very late call to have a look at that, and I think he was okay. That was that direct hit that we saw a few moments ago. It's a bit of drizzle out there, but it doesn't look like there's much on the radar. So if they persist, I think they'll be okay.
If we weren't on, though, which is one of the quirky...
Yeah, it is a bizarre quirk of cricket.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's probably the most quirky nature of cricket, along with, until recent times, you had to have a lunch break at a certain time, even if you hadn't been on. Why didn't you put the lunch break back, or why don't they have lunch?
Yeah, that's right.
There's a delay. But they've finally come to terms with that a bit by changing the lunch break. But, I mean, if you are not playing and there's rain...
And they won't come on,
You're not on. But you're on, and there's rain like this, and you're playing.
It's a bizarre one.
It is.
So this rain, whilst it is getting a little bit heavier, the sky doesn't look too bad.
No.
We saw on the monitors before with the side screen, you can actually see on the footage there with Ali having a chat to one of his teammates. They're enjoying themselves. You can see the drizzle in the background, but often looks worse than it actually is.
Yeah.
It's got the umpire on the walkie-talkie.
Well, it's definitely not out. It was a great return. Yeah. We didn't get too excited here, but I think we were just
neither did they, in fairness.
Already.
Yeah, neither did they, in fairness. Yeah.
No, they didn't. They just know that they're on. Bassett Ali, a key of this team. Obviously Sadiq, he got 34 yesterday in an excellent partnership with Adam Amin, the captain, who made 66 not out when they comfortably ran down Australia's total of 137, which was the highest score of the tournament so far.
And also,
they were going to win that a long way out. The Australians did not bowl well. They batted reasonably well until the final over. But the Afghans, I didn't think, bowled particularly well yesterday until the end. Batted really well right throughout.
So we're just awaiting. There's all sorts of instructions going on in the walkie-talkie. I don't know if it's a side screen related issue potentially.
So obviously we've bowled 2 balls and we've had a couple of issues where teams have been penalised for slow over rates.
That'll be taken, you'd think, into account.
Absolutely into consideration. Don't think it's
so the umpire's
fault of the Afghanis.
The umpire just at the behind the stumps signalling to the square leg umpire, I think, let's go. So I think he's trying to say everyone back into positions and carry on. And the
2 batters are speaking to the Afghan fielders, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And I think
None for 1.
The captain's
great return by Dawa Khan, who originally was out, and then he must have recovered very, very quickly. 5 minutes later, after we were given some lovely chocolate by the team manager of Afghanistan.
Some little picnics,
back in.
We see there on the monitor, as the bail is flying in the air, the batsman is well home. Lights sort of in effect here, so we're just trying to determine what the actual delay is. It's not out, and they haven't come off. So if they haven't come off,
let's play.
Let's play. I don't know if the umpire is concerned with something down at the broadcast end.
Well, Selman's up at the non-strikers end, and he should be facing. He was the one that ran to the end where Dawa hit the stumps from side on dash.
Well, the umpire behind the stump seems pretty keen to keep going. He's now wandering over to have a chat to his square leg comrade.
Yes.
They need to.
Heavier.
They need to move forward, I would think.
Yeah. Now they're going to keep going.
They are going to keep going now.
Yeah, look at the rain. It has got heavier. You can see it on the screen now. Sometimes a bit deceptive looking at it through the glass from the commentary box, no matter where you are broadcasting the cricket. But it does look reasonably heavy.
We are starting to get some natural light starting to poke back through again. There's enough blue sky there.
This is in the air, poking out into the onside, and if there had been a short leg, maybe in traditional test cricket, that might have bobbled into his lap. David Boone, Alan Turner, all the good short leggers, Marnus Labuschagne, Travis Head, but because it's T20 cricket, he just leant forward to one that bobbled Selman, and he gets a run. So it is none for 2 after 3 deliveries.
That was all a touch frustrating prior, but we've got through 3 deliveries in now into this first over.
Plenty of blue sky on the city side of the ground. Bassett Ali bowls again, defending from the crease. And defending well is Yusuf. There is no run.
So good tidy start from Bassett Ali. Pakistan have been a little underwhelming with the bat. 9 for 93 in their first match, which was bumped up to 103, and then they chased 95, I think, with an over to spare in their second match.
So the batting needs to improve a lot. Bassett Ali and Baba, who was their best player last year, not playing after the opening game. And I've asked Dale Christie, their coach, who I know well, has played a lot of Premier cricket, and also coached Parkdale in the Southern Bayside cricket competition. Baba not playing? No, not available, and that's all he said. So
he's not at Bunnings as well, is he?
Yeah, he might have gone to Bunnings. Those Bunnings stores, you could play 25 games of cricket in them if you removed all the stock. Now, this has got an edge, but luckily for Yusuf, it landed in between the keeper and first slip as he was looking to pin his ears back and maybe try and uppercut that, but it wasn't short enough to do that. And good bowling by Bassett Ali to get the edge, and a very long opening over as it was a delay after 2 balls. The rain is here, but the semi is underway, and it is none for 2 after the opening over, with Afghanistan winning the toss and sending Pakistan into bat. The winner into the final tomorrow afternoon. We'll play the winner of the second semi this afternoon between India and Sri Lanka.
India, of course, unbeaten through their 2 matches. The biggest win of the tournament yesterday, their 45-run result over the World 11, and Sri Lanka the defending champion. So that'll be a fantastic contest.
A rematch of last year's final.
So
I know I keep talking about him, but Tej Gandhi, boy, he was outstanding. He's bowled 8 overs so far. He figures a none for 14, 18 dot balls yesterday, and he bowled in the back end of the innings. Could not get him away at all. His Shinwari, his opening over yesterday, not great. After then, had a big influence on the game. Wide of the off stump, has a look, allows it to pass Selman, no run.
Reminds me, I was talking to Suhas on air yesterday about Phil Simmons' figures in 1992, 10 overs, 8 maidens, 4 for 3 in a one-day international. Which is 10 overs, 8 maidens, 4 for 3. It actually popped up on one of the cricket historical channels or Cricket Info or whatever as an anniversary during the week. 10 overs, 8 maidens, 4 for 3.
He made 100 during that summer as well, Phil Simmons at the MCG. Oh, great delivery by Shinwari right through the defences of Selman.
Terrific delivery. I believe he also coached Ireland as well, Phil Simmons.
Yes, now with the West Indies.
Yes. But yeah, good pace. Shinwari whipping a couple through.
Batted well for Afghanistan in the run chase. And after his opening over, he had a number of wides. He hit back well with the ball yesterday. He bowls again, and for the 3rd ball in a row, the wicketkeeper Moomin thought there might have been a fade edge. He gets squared up, and that is the best of the 3, a Jaffa.
They were most interested in that, getting closer and closer to the outside edge there, but 3 almost identical deliveries. Rising, going past the batsman, unable to get a touch on either of them, although that one the closest.
The lights are on too, despite all the blue sky to the city side of the ground. And this time he's on the walk a bit. Shortish delivery by Shinwari. In the end, he fends to a stacked offside field to the covers and doesn't score. So 4 dot balls in a row, and Shinwari an outstanding start. Pakistan 11, none for 2 in their 2nd over.
Melbourne at its finest, where you can have the sun shining whilst it's raining with artificial light. You can have your heater on and your air conditioner at the same time.
Good. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Shinwari bowls again. This time Yusuf chops away. That's a lovely shot. Just a little bit short outside the off stump, and I don't even think the cover fielder saw that one. In fact, it's Selman. He's on the back foot and he cuts it away.
They needed that. They certainly
sure did.
Just to settle in. They weren't in trouble by any means, but just to settle after the bowling had been on top in the early stages of the game.
They've been beaten 3 balls in a row, Selman. On that occasion, he got one outside the off stump and he just was able to latch away and beat the cover fielder and then beat deep cover, who just went in to collect the ball. That's how quick it was travelling. So the outfield in good shape. He leaves the next one. And that's a really good over by Shinwari. He'd be happy with that despite the boundary. He beat Selman regularly in that over, and it is none for 6 after 2 overs.
And that's where it'll be interesting. With obviously the rain we've had, what's the pace of the outfield like? Yesterday, clearly the par score went up. We had teams scoring 135, 140 with relative ease. Conditions now, we had some rain on the pitch, obviously, in the last 10 minutes whilst play was going on. That rain has stopped. But does that bring the par score down a little bit? Would Pakistan be competitive with, say, the 115s and 120s that were competitive in the first 2 days of this event? Afghanistan have chased, well, they've put 124 on the board and then chased 138, so they can make runs.
Pakistan haven't yet, as we mentioned. So this is Yusuf on strike now, and he gets one down the leg side. And I've got a feeling that might have been off the body. We'll have a look at the replay there. Down the leg
umpiring
side.
just clapping into the wrist a little bit, I think, suggesting that it hit the body, as you say.
Okay.
I think that's what that signal would mean.
Second over for Bassett Ali. Let's have a look at it. No.
Unless he felt it clipped something, but
roll to the wicketkeeper. Bassett Ali in again, edging. He gets it over the top of the wicketkeeper. Goes to the boundary for 4. The uppercut that he tried to play in the previous over that landed in between the slipper and the wicketkeeper movement. On that occasion, he got more of it, a little bit of elevation, a little bit more bounce from Bassett Ali. And despite the fact that Moomin stuck his big paw up, it did clear him quite easily. And third man is a bit square, it goes fine. And they all are very, very important runs in this competition.
It's good banter between the two. There, a smile on the batsman's face, and I think the bowler saying, geez, you're a bit lucky there, and batsman's like, well, yeah, that's pretty short, good delivery.
5 of 7. Yusuf advances and he works this away, opening the blade. And down to Rian, his return is very good, and Moomin whips the bails off. But Yusuf, he got going quickly, and he comes back for 2, and he puts the finger up as I learnt when I was a little kid, Beauty Norm. To say, you're right, mate, we're home.
It's a good start from Afghanistan in the field, as we say, a lot of good energy. The returns have been strong. Just need an early breakthrough. They bowled well enough to get one.
Yusuf edging, has he been caught? Has he been taken by Moomin? He has. He looked to try and work that away, and he didn't get it square enough, and it kept a bit low, and that's a good catch lunging forward. Well done by Moomin, and Pakistan are 1 for 12. They lose their first wicket in the 3rd over, and Yusuf is out, and he bangs his bat against his pad in frustration. And Basit Ali, who took 4 wickets yesterday, continues to be in the wickets for Afghanistan. Dash, they make a good start.
Yeah, their confidence would certainly be high. They're continuing to put the pressure on, and they get that early wicket. We spoke about it the ball before, that they bowled well enough to take one. And it brings Cameron Akmal to the crease, who is an immense talent, as we know. Played a lot of international cricket, got 6 Test centuries, but hasn't got going in the 2 matches here. He looked okay, I think, in the second match. He got to 13 off about 6 or 7 and then got run out, I think. So maybe just spending a little bit of time at the crease there allows him to get the eye in, but good start by Basit Ali.
Yes, bowling well, just getting a bit of movement. He's not quick, but he just wobbles it around. These conditions are perfect for a bowler of Basit Ali's skill set, you'd think. So Cameron Akmal, over 50 Test matches, many one-days, an explosive player, powerful player throughout his career for Pakistan in the noughties decade. And he's beaten by a good one, attempted to defend it, and also was in 2 minds about whether he should leave it, but that took off.
Good bounce, so the pitch hasn't softened up too much. There's still good carry on that. 1 for 12, 2.5 overs. Good start by Afghanistan.
Basit Ali in again. Cameron Akmal fends it down to backward point, short of a length. And they get a run. Fielding done by Alandar Raza, who'll be called upon to bowl his spin a little bit later, no doubt. So Shinwari will bowl now to Selman, with Yusuf already back in the pavilion. Their issue has been their inability to get opening stands going. We saw Prince make an outstanding innings yesterday, where he batted right throughout the innings for India.
Cameron Akmal from Lahore originally, the host venue of the 1996 World Cup final, won by Sri Lanka.
Against Australia.
Yeah, and Sri Lanka, that's the only World Cup final Australia have lost.
It's an amazing record, isn't it?
They'll be hoping to get into another final of a different sort later today, Sri Lanka, but 53 tests, 157 ODIs for Cameron Akmal.
He's getting ready again with a slip in place. Faces Shinwari, and he's tucked up, turns it into the onside, and there's no run. Let's check the rest of the field. There's a point, a squarish third man. Cover point, extra cover, mid-off, mid-on. Deep mid-wicket, and fine leg. Shinwari's with him again. And he drives, flying it into the covers. He beats the cover fielder. That had so much power on it. Outstanding shot off the back foot. And when you carve it away like that, and when you're a player of that ability, if you give him a little bit of width, he generally will make you pay, and he does. That was an outstanding shot.
Just further on his record, Cameron Akmal, across all forms, 268 times he represented Pakistan, nearly 7,000 runs, 11 international hundreds, 5 in one day, 6 in tests. And, of course, well over 400 dismissals.
It's an excellent career. 1 for 17 in the fourth over. Shinwari just a bit wide there. And he bowls to Cameron Akmal and beats him outside the off stump, probing away, front foot forward. But the ball just a bit too good for him.
Shinwari, as you said, lost a bit of control yesterday, bowled 3 wides in 1 over. One of them went for 4. But since then, he's been absolutely rock solid. He's picked up wickets. He's tightened up a little bit. I know he got carded that previous delivery, but came back very strongly.
Shinwari again at his second over from the Peninsula end. And driving a well up ball to short straight cover. And there's no run. Bowling to his field, which is what they have to do. And generally they've been very disciplined, the Afghans. First time in the tournament, and it's great to have them here. They were really happy. They celebrated wildly.
Yeah, when they beat Sri Lanka, so much celebration than yesterday as well.
If that makes any sense, the other day in their first win. And again, wide of the off stump, allows to pass. That was against Sri Lanka, as you said.
And then again against Australia when they confirmed their spot. They've really done, they've been, I would think, the most consistent performer in all of the disciplines. So other sides have had their moments. India possibly played the best cricket in it, but I think Afghanistan have been good with bat, good with ball, good in the field all the time.
Players who might have missed out the first game have stepped up in the second and vice versa. Shinwari in again bowls and Cameron Akmal front foot forward. Plays out of his ground as he decided to run, or thought there might have been a run, being the caller with the ball working away towards backward point or deep backward point. And that, of course, was the opener, Selman. He had to quickly get back and retreat because the throw was flung into the non-strikers end where he was heading back. And that would have been suicidal. 1 for 17 after 4, Pakistan. Use of the man out.
So a boundary in each of the last couple of overs, but they're just not getting those frequent scoring shots at the moment, Pakistan. They've got a couple of busy players at the crease who can turn the strike over, but they haven't been able to do that. So there was only the one scoring shot in that over, which was a lovely boundary. They just need to be able to complement that with a couple of singles and tick the scoreboard over.
Bowling change, Rian Saheed, the new inclusion in the Afghan side today. He is coming to the bowling crease in the 5th over of the innings.
So 2 overs each for the openers, and it's standard to keep something up the sleeve for a bit later on. Basit Ali generally bowling towards the back end of the innings. Shinwari likewise will come back in, you would think. An outside chance he might get a third, but 2 overs left in the power play for Afghanistan to work out how they want to structure this. They've had the better of the early stanza in this match after winning the toss.
Certainly have. Now that slip's gone into the gully. Captain Sadiq, he batted well yesterday, and well, he hung the bat out there trying to get connection, but it's wide. He didn't move his feet. Obviously bowled outside the blue line, and it's a wide. So Rayhan just needing a warm-up ball, which was extremely loose and wide.
And fair enough, that call. Batsman standing upright, couldn't reach it from position in the crease at full stretch.
Hung the bat out though. Rayhan bowls again, beaten by a very good delivery. Well, the first one wasn't great, but the follow-up was magnificent.
Yeah, the first one, there was a bit of a good correction rather. He's very wide of off stump. This time he straightened it up, bowled a similar length, and zipped that one through. And again, just need to get bat on ball and ease the pressure by turning the strike over.
1 for 18 in the 5th over. Rayhan in again. Bowls, and again attempting to cut. Playing over the top. He knows there is a gap between backward point and cover point. There's deep cover there. He's obviously looking, or even to slash.
Shade.
The slips cordon with Sadiq going into first slip again. He was in the gully.
Shades of Aaron Finch last night, who couldn't pierce the field, was getting frustrated at himself, playing some reasonable shots, but just couldn't time it. And it's the situation for Selman at the moment.
47 not out as Rayhan bowls again. This took off, didn't it? Like a trampoline, and it was well taken by Moomin, who jumped up and accepted it gleefully and comfortably. And he allowed the pass, Selman outside the off stump.
And that's always the biggest adjustment for subcontinental cricketers, or those that play in Asia coming to Australia, is that steeper bounce. Always that fascinating debate whether it's easier to deal with bounce up or bounce down. So going from here to there or there to here.
1 for 18 in the 5th over. Use of the man out. And this is wide of the off stump. And it's called another wide. So 2 wides in the over. So just trying to get his line right. When he has got it right, it's been good. But he's also conceded 2 wides. Rayhan, the new inclusion today. Coming in for Saeed Akbar Shard. He drives that magnificent piece of fielding at short cover. Again indicating they are on their game. The Afghans with their fielding and the captain, Adam Amin, leading by example.
And that's really important if they're struggling to get singles and struggling to get balls off the square. Deny them every chance you can in that situation. If you just lock it in, you increase the pressure. Misfield there, they get one, it just eases the squeeze a little bit, so they're right on their game.
Beautiful cricket shot, a great piece of fielding, Adam Amin. And now he leaves the next one outside the off stump. Generally been a good over despite 2 wides. Bowling to his field, which is the most important thing. It's a stacked offside field, as we've mentioned. Backward point, cover point, deep cover.
Yeah. I was going to say, every ball's been practically identical. It's just a couple have pushed out a bit wider, but beaten the bat with a few.
Operating from the Cranbourne end as the blue sky continues to make more of an appearance after a little bit of rain to start this innings and a delay as well. Rayhan bowls again and it kept low and he was looking to work that away, but he just couldn't get any bat on that. He needed a bit more elevation. And there was no runs off the bat. There were 2 wides, good over. And Pakistan battling a bit. 5 overs gone, 1 for 19. Use of the man out. They were sent into bat by Afghanistan. The winner through to the final, of course. They'll play the winner of the other semi later on this afternoon between India and Sri Lanka. Darren Parkin will stay in. And it's great to welcome a man that I picked up this morning from his hotel, and we chatted about a lot of different things. I think everyone would love to have been a fly on the wall. Suhas will be joining Darren Parkin. Well, I hope they would like to have been a fly on the wall.
So Suhas to jump in a moment. Afghanistan winning the toss, sending Pakistan in. Pakistan said at the toss they would have batted first as well, but 1 for 19 is the score. So Afghanistan will be pretty well pleased. They picked up an early breakthrough. And Shimari will continue, so he's going to bowl a 3rd over up front here, and he beats the bat, zipping another one through outside off stump. I reckon we've had 31 deliveries, 31 official deliveries, and I reckon the bat has been beaten, Suhas, probably 12 times outside off stump.
And excellently so by Nazir Shinwari, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Good morning, everyone watching. Very good morning, Darren.
Good morning.
And Nazir Shinwari, who's been better at the spell, Nazir Shinwari or the Rains?
Well, the Rains have threatened to impact. At this stage, we should get the full 20 overs in. Obviously, Duckworth-Lewis comes into play. Nobody on earth understands how that works. But
Excellent. Extra bit of bounce there. Yeah, of course. It's very difficult to wrap your brains around it, isn't it? But a couple of spells of rain, but we still continue to play. I wonder if it will have an impact on the surface as the day progresses. And remember, there's another game to come.
I think the old 12th man skit was the average age of the team divided by the number of spanners in a synchrone toolkit. That's how they work out the targets. Shinwari continuing his 3rd over, and again good pace, though that one more of a half volley, but well fielded. It was driven firmly. It's actually hurt the fielder a little bit there. It's gone that quickly to Amin, who's I think come down on the ball.
It's ended with a smile, so that's good to see.
Yeah, given where it hit him, I'm very surprised by that, looking at the replay. Not a lot of reasons to smile.
If he sees the funny side of it, then it's okay. Yeah, it's important that he stays on the field as well, not just as the skipper.
And that one's driven on the up. Lovely shot. All the way to the boundary. That's the shot of the day so far.
Beautifully done indeed. This is vintage Akmal.
Bang.
Yeah, he had the width. Yes, the ball was swinging, but that was also put in the gap. Lovely connection for 4.
Pretty much the same shot as the ball before, but timed and placed better. The last one went straight to cover. That one a little wider.
Darren, but something had to give. 3 dot balls back to back. The pressure was on. yes, the ball is doing a bit, but you need that counter-attack too. Can he use all his experience? Yeah.
So Shinwari into Akmal. Is this the day that he fires? He turns that around the corner. He'll get another boundary. You'd think for that one. It races away. Back-to-back fours. And maybe Cameron Akmal saving some of his best form for this semi-final.
Yeah, he's a big match player. Shinwari is one of the best bowlers on the day, and he's taken him on. That was poor line. Couldn't guide it really well, so Akmal helped him guide it for 4.
Yeah, just helped it on its way, used the pace, turned it around the corner. Very safe shot with the field still up in this power play. There's one to come in it. Akmal, runner ball 13 now with 3 boundaries.
Is he going to stick to where he is in the crease, or is he going to venture out? Because he needs to access better gaps on the leg side.
He can be,
keep the pressure on.
He can be creative. He's a boundary hitter, Cameron Akmal. Last ball of the power play. Can he go with the triple treat of boundaries? He doesn't get that one through mid-off. It would have been very close to going for 4 had that have got through, but well fielded. Keeps it down to 1. He'll stay on strike. Power play done. Pakistan's best over, 1 for 28.
What was the most tempting thing about the 6th over for Akmal to go for the big shots? The last over of the power play, maybe?
I think so. I think there was probably an element of that thinking. We're a little bit behind where we need to be. Last chance for a while with the field up. Batsman at the other end is struggling a little bit for rhythm, so I'll have a crack. Yeah. So 1 for 28, not the best power play we've seen, but at the same time 9 wickets in the shed still for Pakistan. Plenty to work with.
Be it Salman or Kamran, the field did not change for both of them. Neither did the pitch, just the approach change, and you could see the difference in the scores.
Definitely, and just over pitching a little bit. A couple of those deliveries, signalling the conclusion of the power play. Pakistan trying to build a bit of a platform here. Cameron Akmal will stay on strike and try to keep the momentum rolling, this time from the broadcast end as the blue sky starts to take over, which is exactly what we want.
Yusuf Iqbal's the only man to be dismissed, so neither did he get going. 3 of 9.
He was dismissed, caught behind. Rehan continuing. Full toss, which is driven, and Cameron Akmal had feel he missed a chance there. Straight along the carpet to mid-off. Got a nice full bunger. He's been driving it well and just couldn't pick the gap.
In the semi-final with the spells of rains, no cricket kit is complete without a small towel.
No, that's exactly right. We just need the Steve Waugh red handkerchief.
The colour depends on the superstition, is it?
Probably, and I know Steve never changed the baggy green. By the end it was held together by string.
It had a bit of everything in it, isn't it? Champagne.
Yeah, that's right. It was no longer a pure green that you might see in this Pakistan shirt, for example, but that's run off the face down to third man for a single.
It's a matter of pride, is it? It's a matter of pride of how
I think so. I think you can get him.
Looks.
You don't want to replace him, I understand that, but you can get him repaired. Steve Smith is in a pretty bad way at the moment. You can see the wiring on the rim, if you will, at the front.
So it's not about making for good TV. It's not about being presentable. No. It is about the pride of wearing something that has a taste and a smell of almost every win.
Yeah, I think it's just that, it's the first one you're presented with. You don't ever want to. It's amazing how the tradition of that has changed. That's right. And how the tradition of that changed. Merv Hughes told the story about he got his baggy green in the post. It was delivered by the postman. It was in a box. Just saying, you're playing the test match on, here's your hat. Whereas now they do the presentations on the ground where an ex-player will come and hand it to somebody and do a little bit of a speech.
It's a chat, isn't it? Very motivating for us to listen, but someone who's going to receive it is just waiting for it to end.
Probably. Well, they're probably itching to get going, I reckon. Yeah, Rehan continues, and again with pace. And he just grimaces, thinking, why can't one of these just take the outside edge?
This didn't bounce as much, and that is a cause of concern. That's a cause of concern to everyone who calls himself a fielder at the moment, but needs to know that he'll have a bat in hand soon.
Yeah, he's doing the right thing, obviously, tying up the dot balls. And again, Salman, 4 off 15, just struggling to get away. Needs to be able to turn the strike over, given Akmal's hitting them pretty well. So Rehan will continue, just the 1 run from 4 deliveries, and trying to change it up. Salman comes down the track, flicks it on the bounce. It's stopped in the deep, not fielded totally cleanly. They'll get back for a couple, but he still did save the boundary.
Salman is not happy with himself with that kind of a shot. He expected a boundary. He thought he's cleared the man easily. You do not get many freebies, especially when you're struggling. You want to up the ante as quickly as possible. Sometimes it's a matter of just one shot, Darren.
Yeah, that's right. He came down the track and just tried to wrong foot the bowler a little bit, and it worked. This time stayed in the crease, and we returned to the status quo where he was beaten outside off stump. And it's 1 for 31 off 7.
What a good comeback from Syed Rahan. Getting it right once again.
It's funny cricket where, you know, the fine margins where you can have a day where you bowl 20 tremendous deliveries but beat the outside edge with all 20 of them. Then you might have a day where you bowl 5 of those and all of them catch the edge, and you have a complete day out like Stuart Broad in that Ashes test where he took 8 for 14, where it just hits everything. So one of those days for them. Zarek Asil, who's been a very good player in this tournament, coming on to bowl.
So true, Darren. And sometimes you're bowling full tosses, but the batters are getting caught.
That's right.
What's the definition of a good ball then? It's completely changed.
Well, that's right.
Cricket especially.
I mean, technically, it's a
Test matches. You asked Ryan Harris, if I'm not wrong. You asked him, he said, "Yeah, hit the crack."
Yeah, that's right.
He knows the best.
In the end, if you read the scorecard in 30 years' time and it says caught such and such, bowled such and such, it's documented as a good ball, even if it was a long hop that got hit out to the fence. So Cameron Akmal having a crack here at the new bowler, Zarek Asil, from the broadcast end, and he zips that past him as well. And
this is just lovely shape.
Afghanistan are just muttering away, thinking, can one of these hit an edge?
Sometimes I wonder, just because it's coloured clothing, is the captain not tempted enough to have a cradle of slips?
It's a good question. You'd be tempted now, for sure, the amount that you're getting past the outside edge. Just put a bit of pressure on and say, I've got another catcher here, mate, because I think we're going to get you soon. So Cameron Akmal, 15 off 17. He's hit 3 lovely boundaries. He stepped out of his crease. He hit that in the air, pushed it through cover and got a single. It was at a catchable height, but safely into a bit of a gap.
They've done their homework here. Afghanistan 11, and it's one of the important things to do your homework as quickly as possible as well, isn't it, Darren? Because ACL 2.0 is a kind of tournament where games come at you thick and fast. Yeah,
definitely. You got to learn very quickly. You're playing in multiple matches in the space of 3 or 4 days, and this time it is caught. They get the chance and they take a blinder, and it's Selman who tried to run that one off the face, and what a lovely catch that was. And that's the key. You've been trying and trying and trying to get the edge. When you get the edge, they've got to hold it, and hold it they did.
A terrific catching. I think Kamran accessed the gap better. Salman just couldn't get going. 6 of 18. He's applied more pressure, in fact, on his side with an effort of this kind with a bat in hand. It's just one of those days that he didn't want to make up it on the field. 32 for 2.
Karim Khan, the catcher, and what a terrific catch it was. Gets himself into the scorecard. If we have a look at the replay here, thickish sort of edge on the drive, and that is a very nice catch.
Again, a planned wicket, I felt, because there is a bit of swing, and he'd already offered the bat, he'd committed to it, playing the initial line, and then to adjust to the later line, he reached out for it, and an excellent catch diving towards his left.
Reid Khan, a beauty there. It's 2 for 32. As we see Saad Khadak, who we thought might open the batting, coming out at 4 here.
Exactly, Darren. They've rejigged the batting order all right. Now Saad Khadak does not get the power play restrictions. And 19 is highest score. He's much better than that.
And he's got to come in when there's a chance that, you know, some slower bowling will be introduced, harder to build a bit of momentum, and that one skids through nice and low. He took a couple of steps out of his crease. The ball very much on top at the moment.
There is swing, and there's a bit of late swing as well. And you won't be surprised if the batter decides to stand outside the crease and negate it altogether.
Yeah.
The lights have also come on.
They have. We've got natural and artificial light at the moment. Sun off to the right of our broadcast position. We should be okay based on the radar, and that's another one that's zipping through. Of course, hard to know exactly what this pitch is worth with the rain we've had and the outfield. Pakistan have bowled extremely well in this tournament, so they'll give themselves a chance of defending.
How many? Give us a number.
I think
130 has proved to be
yeah,
tight.
I'd be thinking 115 to be competitive today in the conditions, just with a slightly slower outfield. That one's run off the face, down into the ground, and they're red hot in the field again. Just the one run from the over, 8 down, 2 for 32. What a terrific start this has been. So a couple of overs to reach the halfway point. The scoring rate's at 4 at the moment. Cameron Akmal's going to have to do, at the moment, the bulk of the work in the early part of this innings.
Pakistan 11 expected a better start.
Definitely.
Now for someone of Akmal's stature, he's also got going. So now he's torn in two minds whether to continue with the same form, or does he play this little safe here? Look for singles, let the partnership build. 9th over. He's hit bat deep.
That's right. He's got to be there a fair way through. He's hit 3 boundaries, and that one watchful outside off stump.
He decided to leave because he said it's not going to jack back in, but the lack of bounce has still troubled him. He's quietly walked up to the surface and told, don't misbehave. I got to keep on this one as well.
So Rehan, a 3rd over in this spell. None for 5, so he's been very tidy coming into the side and doing a good job. And that one's left alone again. A very test match leave there. Big stride forward. So a couple of dots again. So he's bowled 11 dot balls from his 14 deliveries, Rehan. And 3 of the runs he's conceded have been wides. And again to Akmal, who drives that fluently, misfielded, which allows them to get a single. And that just eases the pressure a little bit. Hit firmly to mid-off. Just didn't quite gather it cleanly, and Akmal goes to 17.
You could clearly see the shift in gear, especially with Akmal now that he realizes Saad is an excellent batter, of course, but he hasn't got going either.
No, he hasn't, and has moved in the order a little bit as a result. Will this work? See Shinwari down in front of us having a drink. He's got one over left up his sleeve for later on. And that one's driven to cover, and again a misfield from the first fielder, but support at the back will stop the single.
Want to know what this is turning out to be?
They just can't get away. The scoring rate 3.81.
It can shift. It can
It
shift
can.
in a matter of a couple of balls,
Yeah.
but it's got to happen as quickly as possible. Yes, they bat deep, but in order to have that cushion of at least 20 runs, we've seen 130 is tight, but to get that cushion, you need to attack before the first in overs.
And again, just flirting with one outside off stump, and Rehan would be pretty pleased with how he's bowling, but at the same time he is shaking the head a lot because he's like, I just keep beating the outside edge of these blokes and they won't hit it.
Now, what do you feel about the approach of Pakistan 11 from here? Do they leave too much to the middle overs?
Well, the problem
For the
is
launch pad to be created and then a big crescendo finish, or do you think they should start to attack so that you can ruffle some feathers? Then in the middle overs, when you know the spinners are going to be in operation, pick up those singles and twos which are available at ease.
that's the key. I think that they just haven't been able to do that. They just can't get bat on ball and turn the strike over. I mean, obviously not everything's going to be a boundary ball. That'll be a run at least to get Saad off the mark. And it ends the over, but yeah, they're just not getting enough of those single balls, and the fear is that it'll put too much pressure on Akmal to have to accelerate now. Then he'll go out and they'll be in a bit of a tangle. 2 for 34 off 9.
What the last ball showed us, Darren, is the fact that this is not going to be an easy wicket to bat on.
No.
Unless Amin decides to promote himself and starts to go from ball 1, where he just makes the surface look redundant. This does not look like an easy wicket to bat on, especially with that kind of bounce from the area that it pitched in. He almost committed himself on the front foot there.
It's made it, it's a bit more uneven. Obviously, we've had that moisture around as well. Damper outfield. It does bring the expected scores down a touch.
Another tidy over from Rehan side, just 2 runs of it. 34 for 2. Pakistan 11 are looking to break free, and they're expecting Saad to come good, and Kamran Akmal, who started off really well with a couple of back-to-back boundaries, has gone back into the shell once again owing to some excellent bowling. Well, that wasn't far away from the toe edge of the bat. Toe end.
The wicket taker looking for another there. 1 for 1 off 1. And that's a dot ball, the first of the 10th.
Zara Kasil, he's already had a dream start.
He has been.
But you could see intention there from Saad, absolutely clear. Wanted to go for the big shot from the first ball. They want to change the momentum.
And then a slower ball there that was dug in, a Yorker that was just sort of pushed away, but they took the pace off. First time we've seen, or the first time in a while, we've seen a genuine slower ball there. They've been whipping it past with pace. That time, just changing it up a little bit. And there's no answer so far from this Pakistan top order. 1 off 8 for Saad, 17 off 21 from Akmal, who getting a little bit starved of strike at present. A couple of steps down the track, just a deliberate, thickish outside edge down to third man for a single, which brings Kamran Akmal back on strike.
Still overcast conditions. The sun's been playing hide and seek, and looks like the bowlers are on top. But you just cannot say, let's respect them for the first 30 minutes, because the first 30 minutes is where you steal as much momentum as possible in a T20 contest.
And now they're in the position here, Pakistan, where they've got to try to get momentum back somehow, as that one is...
Akmal's not happy, because by the time Akmal looked up after tapping the bat twice, the ball had already reached the popping crease. He's suggesting it's just the fact that the ball didn't go on to hit the stumps, because it wasn't in the line of the stumps. Otherwise, I wouldn't have played it.
Yeah, he could step away and get the dead ball in that situation, but Zarek Asil, I think it's an interesting one. When the bowler's ready, should the batsman be ready? Should there be it's almost like in tennis when you're ready to serve and the other guy's still over with the towel. Akmal comes down the track. Does he play that shot? A little angry, he does. He skies it out on the bounce. Picks up just the 1 run for it though, so...
Looks like there's a lot of effort being made, but the runs aren't coming. The denominations are just not effective, or denominations are just not attractive.
Yeah, they're not able to... They're just not able to build momentum by turning the strike over, and at 3.5 and over, approaching the halfway point of the innings. Zarek Asil in again, and Saad this time launches in the air. He hasn't got enough on it. They come in off the rope and take the catch. Good communication in the field, and what a start it's been by Afghanistan. Made the right decision to allow the player coming in off the rope, running at the ball to take it. And Alendar takes a very nice catch.
Excellent catch indeed. Yes, he did not outstretch his arms to try and take it. He didn't have to do that because he covered so much ground so quickly. He just made it look a little simpler. Still that tumble and everything put together makes it a brilliant catch, and at the right time. Afghanistan 11 are making it look like they have their whole squad out there.
Yeah, they do. They've got them right under the pump at the moment, and Asil has 2 for 3 off 2 overs. At the halfway point, it's 3 for 36, and the pressure is on Kamran Akmal. I'll step out. Dan Lonergan will take you through the next little period. Afghanistan looking good.
Welcome, Dan.
Thanks, Suhas. Well, gee, they're in trouble, aren't they? They just cannot get anything going with the batting. The momentum is firmly with Afghanistan at the moment, and while Kamran Akmal's there, they're a chance, but they're just not able to pierce the field. The bowling's been outstanding.
I understand what you're saying, Dan. You're suggesting that Kamran Akmal is a formidable presence in the middle, but his efficacy has been kept down because of what's been happening at the other end too.
Yes.
You see that the partners that he's getting, they're also struggling, and that's why he is a little tied to utilize his shots. He's thinking twice before opening his arms or opening his shoulders. 32 for 2 at the end of 8, and then by the end of 10, they're 36 for 3. The lack of runs is what is bringing wickets.
Well, that's right. I mean, at this stage, they'll be battling to get to 100. While he's there, they're a chance of doing that, but they can't afford to lose too many more wickets. Now, Farwood batted really well the other day, but they're in real trouble of making any score whatsoever against India, and they need him, Farwood Malouk, with that 34 the other day, to produce something like that today, Suhas.
Absolutely right, Dan.
So,
you could see that now of course, you could see the bowlers are continuously trying to keep their hands warm.
Rayhan doing a great job. He's final over, and it's pushed into the offside. They'll get a run. Cameron Akmal's on the move straight away. That's good running by the veteran. And they need to do more of that. Bit of tip and run to put pressure on the fielders, even though it's an attacking field. They're still well inside the circle on the offside, bowling to the field. And I've been very impressed with this young man in his first game. He's come in and he's done the job for his team.
He's wasted no time in announcing his arrival, has he?
No, absolutely sensational. None for 8, 3.1 overs. As Darren Parkin said, some of those runs have been wide, so there haven't been too many off the bat.
Fawad Malouk in his 3 games amassed 41 runs out of his 34, came in a single game. The fact that he left the crease unconquered would have given him a lot of confidence that translated in his bowling as well, picking up 4 wickets.
He's a left-hander. Rayhan bowls to him and he dabs into the onside. See, I think there was a run there because mid-wicket was pretty deep, Suhas, and he had to bolt in. And really, if you're going to get the scoreboard ticking over, you've got to get on the burst and you've got to start scoring runs. But they're just in two minds at the moment.
Yes, they have Malouk. Yes, they have Amir there, Pakistan, with the ball in hand. But you've got to give them some kind of a cushion.
Of course you do.
Where the batters are forced to come after them. That's where the efficacy will increase twofold.
Rayhan, wide of the off stump. And Farwood has a look and there's no run. When there's a gully and there's a deep forward square leg, there's a short cover, there's an extra cover, or you'd probably call him a squarish mid-off, mid-on, deep mid-wicket, deep forward square leg. Good field in place by Afghanistan, doing an outstanding job, but also a short straight mid-wicket. Rayhan in again, bowls, and this is in the air from Farwood, but it just gets past the bowler down to mid-off, and again no run because he's bowling well up. Beautiful bowling.
Bowling's been excellent, and they're keeping it tight as well. Akmal's got a word or two to say to Fawad. I think it is about negating the swing there. There is a man at catching position in short cover. I think he'll come in handy if the batter tries to do something different or prog the ball. Would he prog at it?
Rayhan bowls again and he pushes into the offside because he's bowling to his field. He just cannot get anything going. He's bowling right on line and he drives into the offside. No run. Still 3 for 37, just 1 run from the over. And we're already halfway through the innings. It's got a bit overcast again. There's a bit of blue sky, but that's more heading towards Cranbourne, Suhas. And a lot of the ground shrouded in cloud now.
23 deliveries in just 5 runs added.
Yeah, incredible. And again, he dabs away, make that 6 runs from 24. He was on the back foot and he played it nicely to work it down through third man. But what a spell of bowling. Well done, young man. He came into the team, the one change for Afghanistan. He only conceded 2 runs from that over. And Rayhan Sayed, 4 overs, none for 9. And we saw what Gandhi did yesterday and did on the opening day. That's what it's all about, making sure that you can keep the run rate down. Mightn't have got a wicket, but gee, it was hard to get away.
Yeah, it's not easy to change a winning combination and still make it to the side. You've got to make it count, and he's made his opportunity count. Kamran Akmal is a saving grace at the moment, 19 or 24. With the opponents treat him as a ticking time bomb here. He can switch next gear and then the next. 2 for Zarak, 1 for Basit. Shinwari has been excellent, doesn't have wickets to show, but you could say that he's got 1 more over, and that'll be crucial.
I think they're in trouble. The batting has just let them down right throughout the tournament.
It's concerned faces there. They know that they're nowhere near respectable total, not heading there either. Someone needs to take the initiative.
Have they been a bit too confident? Have they just been thinking, oh, we're just going to switch on, the batting will just get going today? The coach, Dale Christie, said to me, the batting just hasn't been up to scratch so far, and that's fine. But what do you do to make sure it switches on? So Adam Amin into the attack, darts it in, and it's driven away, but once more the fielding very good. And the captain, or the playing coach, I should say, Sadiq is there, and nice acrobatic save. Made it more acrobatic than it needed to be, but we'll give him 9 out of 10. Again, short. And it's swatted away, clearing the infield, out to deep mid-wicket. Just rolling of the wrists, in the air for a long time, but safe. And it's 3 for 39, and we're in the early stages of the 12th over. The run rate just over 3. From here, they only make 70. If they keep at the current run rate, which they won't.
I'll tell you what I'm most impressed by today, as far as Afghanistan 11 are concerned, in just a moment, Dan, after this delivery.
Amin bowls, and that's a nice shot as he just gets the edge, but the intended edge, rolling the wrists down through the vacant slips region. He did well to allow the ball to hit the bat and worked it on its way. 2 runs to Cameron Akmal. That's skill, that's experience. He's 21, and they're 3 for 41 in the 12th over.
Yeah, what's been excellent to watch today from Afghanistan 11 is that, yes, the outfield's a little wet, but they've thrown themselves around.
They want to win the game. They've won the first 2 so far. They're unbeaten in the tournament. Amin bowls again, once more. Cameron Akmal, this time he was a little bit more squarer, and there was a third man in place, Bassett Ali, and he again just rolled the wrists and placed it in his direction, but runs with the shot.
2 is the most that they've got in the last 5 overs.
They need 6s.
2
Now,
for delivery.
beaten
Oh, that
brilliantly
could be-
outside the off stump.
It looked like there was something, though.
Yes, they think it's out. Moomin is very, very adamant, the wicket keeper. And the umpire said, go away, son. It's not out. I've given it not out.
But it looks
Let's
like
have a look at the replay.
the replay will suggest if there is a deviation, that's what all of us will be looking at. Yes, it's turning well.
It turned, but he didn't get an edge on it. The next ball was placed into the offside, but once more, he cannot turn the strike over forward. They'll be happy with that. 4 runs from the over, and they're right on top. 12 gone, 3 for 42. Yes, that was a lovely piece of bowling, wasn't it, by Adam Amin? Can they get 100?
From this stage, if they get to 100, they'll be mighty pleased because it will give something for Mohammad Amir to bowl at. You know that when you unleash your best bowlers, you want the opponents to be coming after them. That's when their efficacy increases twofold, not when they want to see your best bowlers off.
The teams have worked out, haven't they? They've worked out how to play him. They've been able to see him off in the first 2 matches without him having, when I say he's bowled well, but he hasn't taken big wickets yet, has he?
Yes, but you also know that he's someone who's played at the international level so many times, proven his word. He can generate that extra bit of pace as well when the overcast conditions are there. He could be a handful.
Here's Cameron Akmal. He looks to cut. He's beaten outside the off-stump. Movement has gone up for absolutely everything. And Alam Dar coming around the wicket. Reminds me of one of my favourite cricketers, Ray Bright. Back in the 70s and 80s for Australia and Victoria. Captain of Australia in one-day match. Now that was low and flat and taken virtually by the wicket-keeper at his bootlaces. Almost bounced twice, that one.
Dan, it doesn't really matter who gets to bowl. Everyone's doing a great job.
They are now. Cameron Akmal goes over the top, lofts it out in the deep. Is it stopped? It is magnificently stopped just inside the boundary by Long On, who did well to knock it to his own advantage. Goes back in and collects it and ensures that they don't get a boundary.
This is very frustrating for someone like Kamran Akmal, who's played an excellent shot inside out. He thought he's pierced the gap and he's done enough. But in the field today, Afghanistan 11 very sharp.
Tash Ali very good then. This is short. It's cut away, beats cover, and that goes to the boundary for 4. There might have been protection at cover, but the outfield's still quick enough. and beats Rehan, who was outstanding with the ball. And they badly needed that. To say they needed that is the understatement of the century. A little bit short and wide. 28 off 30, Cameron Akmal, and it's 3 for 48 in the 13th. Cut that away superbly. Alan Darwin again. He chops it to backward point, thinks about a run. No, he's told to stay where he is. Sadiq intercepts.
6 have come out this over, and it's been the most expensive over in the last 6 overs.
Well, the projected score is 76 at the moment. That won't be enough, I wouldn't have thought.
That'll quickly change if Akmal bats.
Well, he is going down the ground again. He lofts a ball that was given flight, and he's picked the gap over cover. Mid-off was a little bit too fine there. He wasn't going to get anywhere near that. One bounce over the rope for 4, and that's better. 10 off the over, wide of the off stump. Great shot, Suhas.
Yeah, he's picked the spot beautifully. It's something that he was trying 2 balls ago, 3 balls ago. Someone had to take the initiative. Kamran Akmal moves on to a runner ball 32. And he's done the bulk of the scoring, as you can sense. Pakistan put it past 50. 52 for 3.
The only issue is Farwood has the strike and he's got 2 off 9, and like the other batters, they've just basically been paralysed in their endeavours to turn the strike over. Here's Adam Amin, bowls to Farwood, who drops it into the onside. Now, I reckon there was a run there. The field's pretty deep on that onside. There's been lots of spaces on the onside inside the circle when we've got outside the power play, and you just drop it and you run. You put your most attacking player on strike. Again, short. Cut away. Oh, bad bounce for the fielder, Sadiq, in the covers. He went one way, the ball went another, and it now brings the man that needs to be on strike, Cameron Akmal.
He's got to quietly pick up a single there for Warren. That's exactly what he did, because Kamran Akmal is in some form. He wants to continue while he is in rhythm.
3 for 43, 3 for 53. Adam Amin bowls again. He goes down the ground. Could this be caught? He's comfortably caught. He's holed out. And Shinwari, you cannot keep the big man out of the game. He didn't get enough on it. He's taken it comfortably at long off. And he holds out. Cameron Akmal 32 off 33. And Pakistan are in the mire. 4 for 53 in the 14th over, Suhas.
Yes, trying to up the ante. He thought it was there to be hit. It was his shot. We've seen him so many times play this at the international level. But Kamran Akmal this time around finds Shinwari in the deep. Again, a great catch while running away from where he exactly was. That was deep mid-wicket to long on. He's covered it quickly there, the distance.
I'll tell you what, their fielding has been spectacular. It's all about fielding in T20 cricket too, isn't it? And they've done a great job. They've been right up for the fight, right from the word go in all their 3 matches, and their fielding has led the way.
Amir's walked out to bat, and he's telling himself, all right, let's score some runs to bowl at.
Well, he's the key now, isn't he?
Stronger suit, bowling.
Yes.
But our game makes you do cruel things, puts a bat in hand to you, and tells you, yes, score runs. I think it's only our game which tells you to do things which you're probably not good at for the sake of the team.
I'm just confused as to why their batting, which they've been promoting as one of their strengths, has been letting them down. Is it above the shoulders? Or they've been a bit too confident, just thinking it will happen, it will happen, it will happen, and it's not happening.
It's not clicking, and it's not clicking at the wrong time for them.
A major sponsor, of course, is Oswood Timber and Hardware for the Aussie Cricket League 2022. Cut away, attempting to cut away, peel for a catch. I reckon Adam Amin thinks he's got it. He's as happy as Larry, and he's out. First ball, it's a golden duck. It was unbelievable there, because I thought he might have just played over the top of that one, Muhammad Amir, but Adam Amin was happy, and we know Moomin, he gets excited if someone blocks a ball. The wicket keeper, and he attempted to cut, and can you believe it, we're on another hat-trick here.
Yeah, we've been in this position so many times. What a bowling change Amin has been. Off the second attempt, The under edge is eventually pouched by the keeper. They can't do anything wrong today, can they? Afghanistan 11 on the field. They've converted catches.
He got it on the second grab, of course.
The second grab was excellent indeed. The presence of mind to believe that one-handed pouch can still be possible. Amir could not believe it. He's looking at the surface and telling it something. But the finger had already gone up. A golden duck for Mohammad Amir.
And a hat-trick for Adam Amin. We had a team hat-trick yesterday in Australia's final over in their reasonably competitive 137, 2 wickets and then a run out. But no one has been able to get an individual hat-trick yet. But gee, they've been trying.
There's always fierce competition when Pakistan play their neighbours, Afghanistan. Every time they play their neighbours on either side, be it India or Afghanistan, and Afghanistan are definitely on top.
Here's the hat-trick. Oh, it bobs up. A leading edge, a few wickets up the pitch, and luckily for the new batter Abdul Asib and the new player, he survives, and another hat-trick goes Beggy.
Is he thinking would have been better if I had a short leg in place?
5 for 53. Now he attempts to swing. Can't. Movement thought, well, that's out. He's appealing for everything movement. He's on fire.
What a terrific over from the skipper. Amin picks up 2. So has everyone who is bowled. Everyone who can roll their arm over and calls himself an Afghanistan cricketer can pick up a wicket today. That's been the norm. Brilliant delivery, and he slowed it down as well. He slowed it down deliberately. Amin.
We talk about it in sport in this country, particularly our native game, Aussie rules about being role players, playing a role. This Afghanistan cricket team, Suhas, are all playing a role. If you're not batting or bowling, you're fielding well. That's what it's all about. And that's why they've restricted Pakistan to 5 for 53 after 14 overs.
I think credit to the captain and coach who've defined the role so very well. Every player would have his personal milestones as well in mind, but the way they've reconciled those personal milestones with the bigger objective of the team, they've come out as a single unit and they're doing excellently, making the opponents work hard for their runs. And talking of working hard, these 3, 4 gentlemen in this frame, all of them have been working hard.
Yes, Harry and his
That's Harry's
team.
squad.
Yes. Also, Gainwright Accountants, Exclusive Migration, which is Harry's business, big sponsors of the ACL 2022. Bassett Ali back in, and it's chopped away again through the slips. Down to third man. It's only 1 run though. They needed more than that. But Farwood at least gets the scoreboard ticking over limply, but gets it ticking over. 5 for 54 in the 15th. Bassett Ali 1 for 5. They're all outstanding reading the bowlers. They're doing a brilliant job.
They've been relentless today. And yes, we were talking about the squad.
There they are again.
Sunny, Bir Karan, and of course Harry.
He's done a great job to get all the sponsors on board to get the players here. 6-team tournament this year. It's a chance for a catch behind. It is caught behind. It was elementary, my dear Watson, as he went to maybe uppercut it, but he just got a very, very faint edge to that one. And really, sometimes it's hard to know whether they got an edge or not. They got excited, but not as excited as some of the other dismissals there, the Afghans. And, well, the Sri Lankans, they're in diabolical trouble. Abdul out for a second ball duck, 6 for 54.
Yes, indeed. You're talking about not being elementary, Watson, but it did take Sherlock. It didn't take Sherlock to find out that there was a big edge.
I meant Pakistan, not Sri Lanka, called a Freudian slip. Pakistan, 6 for 54. I think people knew what I meant.
Yes, they did.
Hassan Ali comes in now.
273 runs amassed, and he's someone who's known to play a longer innings, of course.
Yes.
But now the scorecard that he's inheriting is not going to allow him to swing his bat the way he wants. Now they're also running a risk of being bundled out before the allotted 20 overs. And with Mohammad Amir raring to go after a first ball duck, I would definitely tell you that you need to play those 20 overs, get as many as possible, so that you have at least some kind of a cushion going into the big finale if you want to.
Well, runs on the board is what it's all about, but 54 is nowhere near enough runs, in my humble opinion.
We are living in an era of baseball when it comes to test match cricket. They have better run rate than this one right now.
Well, that's right. I mean, can that last forever? Be interesting when the Ashes get underway next year. Bassett Ali bowls again, pushed into the offside again, more hesitation. He who hesitates is lost, and they're doing everything right now. Another return hits the stumps. The batter was safe, I think, and it is 6 for 54 Pakistan in the 15th.
Yeah, these are the little moments, these are the tacit messages that have been sent across to the opponents. Swiftly onto the ball in a direct hit. Every single has been a struggle of communication. That's another thing that you need to note. The fielders are buzzing at the edge of the 30-yard circle, taking at least a 3-stride for a start, 3-stride start.
Bassett Ali bowls again, peel for LBW. I think it might have been bat and pad together then, and the front foot was well forward. It was a very optimistic appeal by Bassett Ali. Let's have a look.
I think he pitched it in a brilliant area. Just a hint of movement, but yes, you could see all the 3 stumps behind the batter, way outside off. But that's a good channel to exploit if you're looking for the outside edge, not to make him a candidate for LBW.
Bassett Ali bowls again. He pushes into the offside. See, bowling short of a length, getting him on the back foot. They're already on the back foot, figuratively and literally, when they're playing their shots. And the field is so good, but they managed to just pierce a small gap on the offside. 6 for 55 near the end of the 15th.
Well, with the way Afghanistan 11 have fielded today, the gaps have looked very small indeed.
Cameron Akmal's 32 of 33, the only shining light. The rest of them, their batting has just let them down badly. Muhammad Amir at first ball. They're on another hat-trick, but they weren't able to get it. And this is down the leg side, an extra ball to be bowled. A rare, poor delivery from the Afghans as well. They're disciplined with their bowling. Their fielding, their wicket keeping. Certainly the wicket keeper movement is up and about the entire time. Appeals for everything. He doesn't miss too much. The captaincy's been great. They're just doing everything perfectly in the field, Afghanistan. Ali bowls again. He opens the blade, works it down towards third man forward, leaning forward, and they get another run, but they need boundaries, and I'm not sure where those boundaries are going to come from now that Cameron Akmal has been dismissed. So 15 overs gone, and it's 6 for 57. Suhas is going to take a little bit of a break, and Darren Parkin will come back in for the closing stages of this innings, which has been very disappointing. Parker, as far as Pakistan are concerned, it just has not got going.
No, it hasn't. 9 for 93 the other day. Then they were 6 for 93 chasing, or 6 for 95 chasing, and now 6 for 57. So if they make an exit in an hour and a half or so's time, it's their batting that they can blame. They'll certainly have Muhammad Amir coming in off a tear, but it's going to be a tall order from here.
So Amin around the wicket again, driven down the ground. And they'll get one. Shinwari was so good, wasn't he? He sort of set the tone with his over. That second over where he constantly beat the bat of Selman.
2 for 6 of 2.1 overs. Typical Melbourne here. The sun's shining, but the clouds are looking mean over in the distance.
Yes, they are.
Probably the brightest it's been with natural light so far today.
If you want to see 4 seasons in one day, just stay in Melbourne for half an hour sometimes.
Yeah, you don't need a day, that's for sure. And that's a good delivery in close to the body. No run.
Doing his job, isn't he, Adam Amin? I've just said that they've all been role players, haven't they, in the field? And if someone hasn't stepped up one day, they'll step up the next day. And Adam Amin didn't have a good first day, but got 66 not out the second day. So again, it's patted back to the bowler, another dot ball. And he's taken wickets today.
Their consistency, they've got a tournament-winning profile. Certainly the contributions they're getting across the board.
This is pushed down along the onside as he gives it flight. The field is deep, and really, if you are intent on getting runs, you took the pace off the shot. The fielders are deep on the onside. You absolutely get 2 runs, and they didn't.
They fielded so well, Afghanistan, that they probably spooked them a little bit into not taking on the arm, but they've just simply got to based on game situation.
Inferred pressure, isn't it? Round the wicket, arm in, and gives it air and takes an outside edge and driving, not fluently, and again not beating the field once more, which has been superb on the offside. 6 for 59 in the 16th over. Can they get 100, Dash?
They can, but they're going to need 10 and over in the last 4 in order to do that. That one gets through, so they should surely get a couple this time. They do. So 6 for 61 they're going to be, so 39 off 4 would be the requirement for them to get to 3 figures.
Just can't see either of these two launching. Farwood did well to get 34 not out in the first game and get them past 90. He was noodling it around in the match against India, but he's not really a big hitter, is he? Or hasn't shown to be a big hitter. 8 off 16 and Hassan Ali 2 off 6.
It's going to take a boundary and over for them to be any realistic hope. So a boundary and over, and then obviously accumulate scores off the rest of those overs. And look, the scores in the mid-90s that they've made, they very nearly defended one and they chased narrowly the other. So obviously they've been able to stop teams from scoring much beyond about the mid-90s. India got to 103 off the last ball and they bowled the world 11 out for 94. So
yeah,
they'd look at that and go, we can play well around about that mark, but they've got to get there, which is easier said than done. This looks like Shinwari's going to finish his spell here. Bowled 3 up front.
You look at those figures, none for 17. He bowled better than that.
Way better than that. He's beaten the bat multiple times. I think he got hit for 4, maybe twice. But none for 17 off 3. Bowled his 3 overs from this end. He'll now bowl from the Cranbourne end to bring an end to his spell. And that one's played on the up through cover. Again, they run the first hard and they will take the arm on this time and push back for a second. That's better. 6 for 63.
There's a bit of an outside edge as well, but he did have a control.
Run rate still below 4. Obviously, it's got to be 5 for them to hit the 100 mark. Hassan Ali on strike on 4. And that's just pushed down off the pitch and another dot ball.
Well, I can't tip my hat. I actually said yesterday when you asked me near the end of our coverage who wins today, I just felt it was all ready for Pakistan to get going, especially with the bat, but you've got it wrong so far.
They're going to have to do something special to turn this around, and this Afghanistan team hardly put a foot wrong this week. And they may well be a chance to win the title at their first appearance. Obviously, the players in that India-Sri Lanka game will have a bit to say about that. That's tucked square of the wicket on the onside, ran the first hard. Don't take the arm on this time. The throw was sharp. They probably would have been run out, but they've got to take the risk somewhere, sometime soon.
Look at all the Afghan supporters on the screen, having a lovely time. Imagine if they make the final, they'll be out in full force tomorrow.
We've got the flag hanging on the fence. We've had the gentleman who's been running up and down the boundary this week with that flag. It's on the fence. It's ready to go, ready to launch.
The music, and after they won their first game, they were delighted, weren't they?
So Shinwari with 3 deliveries left in his spell, as Dan said, has bowled better than none for 20 would suggest. He'll have to bowl that one again. It's a wide +1 as they scamper down the other end. So 6 for 66.
They just need to see out the 20 overs. That's the most important thing. And try and take a positive attitude if they can. We've got runs on the board here. They've still got to make the runs, but they've generally made them. Made up 120 on 2 occasions in this tournament so far, Afghanistan.
Just got to back themselves in. Shinwari continues as that one's dropped behind square on the offside. They will get just the one again. A couple of deliveries left in this Shinwari spell. Farwood on 8, Hassan Ali on 6.
I'm surprised why Baba hasn't played since the first game. I know he had one big innings last year, big 100, but gee, they could have used him if he was in his best form.
And that one's played late, well fielded, just stuck the one hand down. That was terrific work.
A deep gully. Still got a deep gully in place.
Actually,
I mean,
Karen Siddiq. Yeah. I was going to say a better physical specimen, but shades of that Dwayne Leverott catch for Bermuda, just sticking the one mitt out.
Yes. That was a beautiful piece of fielding.
Superb. So to close out the 17th over, driven, or at least attempt to drive, sort of a bit of an inside.
Got to get 2 here.
Pulled into the onside, and they're red hot in the field. He's almost thrown the stumps down. He got back. Had that have been a direct hit, which it wasn't far away from being, that would have been interesting. In the end, not a bad over for Pakistan. They picked up 7 from it, or 8 from it, but it's 6 for 69 with 3 overs to go. Still a fair way off the pace.
Rehan very, very good there, and we know he bowled a great spell. Didn't have too many runs off the bat, a couple of wides, but he was superb. He's been their inclusion today, and when they've brought new players in again, just talking about the fact that they've played a role. And that's why they're going so well. So 3 overs to go at 6 for 69. The only highlight in this innings has been Cameron Akmal getting 32 off 33, but nowhere near enough. But he was starting to get going. He just had to go. He had to take risks.
Yeah, he did, and that was the situation of the game. But put that too much pressure on him to have to accelerate when there were just no runs coming at the other end.
And there was a chance for another hat-trick. Mohammad Amir was out first ball. And once again, the hat-trick missed. We had a team hat-trick yesterday. Afghanistan getting that.
Zarek Asil to continue here. 2 for 3 from his 2 overs.
Wow. Adam Amin's got 2 wickets as well. Another one who's had a pretty good tournament, Zarek Asil. Contributed nicely with the ball.
Over the wicket there, and that's played a deliberate edge down to third man. Slight misfield. They were probably going to get 2 anyway, and it allows them to get back.
Thanks again for the organisers for looking after us with the coffees. Thanks to McDonald's in Cranbourne as well. Don't know whether they're sponsors, but we'll give them a plug. Oswood Timber and Hardware, our major sponsor, of course. Gainwright Accountants.
Just the first runs off the bat for a while off him. Drop and run in the offside. Six for 72 now. So with 14 deliveries left, as a bare minimum, can Pakistan score a run off every ball, get up to 86? You're going to want to do a little bit more than that. Can they defend a score in the low to mid-90s? It's about as good as it appears it might get from them. Zarek Asil continuing from the broadcast end, a little straight, turned off the hip to mid-wicket, again a shy at the stumps. Afghanistan have been red hot on everything.
So our gold sponsors, they do a great job in making sure that this tournament goes ahead. Air India, Evans Road Medical Clinic, BCTA College, South East Wealth, Peach Institute and Kayan Development. Thanks to everyone for jumping on board again. As Afghanistan continue to turn the screws on this Pakistan batting lineup.
And that's in the air, but safely through the gap. It goes behind square. They get 1. That was a definite chance at 2, given the ground. The fielder in the deep had to cover to get across. Pakistan ticking the bare minimum at the moment, scoring off every ball, but they need a boundary and over, you would think. Sun shining, so there is a chance that Afghanistan might also get the best batting conditions. If it stays like this a little bit later on, that's turned off the hip for another single. 6 off the over with 1 ball to come.
They've just got to pounce early with the ball, don't they? They need early wickets to put Afghanistan under pressure. They've obviously got a terrific mindset. They're very confident with the way they've been performing. If they don't get the early wickets, you think that they're no chance. But if they get early wickets, it might put a little bit of doubt in the Afghans' mind. And Afghanistan haven't had that self-doubt all week so far, Dash.
And they've beaten the bat 1 more time outside off stump. Zarek Asil, 2 for 8 off 3 overs, has been fantastic.
I'm going to bring Suhas in for the last couple of overs, as he will call it home with Darren Parkin, and we'll see if Pakistan can get to 100, thanks of course to our major sponsor Oswood Timber and Hardware.
Six for 75 off 18 overs. These two men getting themselves into double figures, having a bit of a conference in the middle of the pitch. Who brings this home for Afghanistan in these last couple of overs? Will it be pace? Will it be a bit of spin? How will they close this out?
It'll be a bit of sun to start with.
Yes. Basit Ali will be the first of those names. He's got 2 for 8 as well from his 3 overs.
This is a beautiful, beautiful place to play cricket in, isn't it?
It is so many wonderful grounds. We've got another one over the back of us as well, where
The problem,
training.
the problem's been a lack of contributions on. Excellent shot. That's a great start to the over. He's found the right spot as well. Boundary collected. Some momentum for Pakistan 11, and they want to ride on this and try and get to the 3 figures mark, as he'll give them a lot of confidence in the semi-final.
Now, forgetting the fact they lost anyway last night, but it was a bit like Brisbane Heat, where they were out of the game against the Renegades at 8 for 108. They took 21 runs off the last over, which gave them a bit of confidence, and then they had the Renegades 4 for 9 with a hat-trick early in the chase. Ended up getting beaten anyway, which is neither here nor there, but Bassett Ali.
Just going to ask you that. But still better. A good change of pace, saw the batter charge. He's kept it down to a single. 5 of 2, you take it.
Definitely.
It's an interesting setting, this, isn't it? There is cloud cover on one side. All you see is dark clouds on one side, but it's bright and sunny over here at the cricket field. That's all right. No complaints. If this could stay this way, no complaints. Now, Basit Ali, he's bowled exceptionally well, especially with the new ball. Now with the old. And it continues to. This could be catch practice. The simplest of catches. I'll see the end of yet another Pakistani batter. Hassan has got to make the long walk back just when he started to look good.
And Bassett Ali gets a 3rd wicket here. Hassan goes for 10. Farwood remains on 16. 9 deliveries left for Pakistan to churn out something somewhat competitive here. Coming to the crease for this Pakistan side will be Umar Butt, who's contributed with the ball, has to come in at 9 now and make some runs.
Umar Butt can strike. 15 runs, highest being 11. It's the route that he took to 11.
Yeah, that's right. He's only he's only gone out to bat a handful of times, so he'll get a chance here to try to give himself something to bowl at. He's almost batting for himself here, thinking, I need something more to defend, so I'm going to have to get him.
You have to inflate the cushion and sleep on it.
Exactly, that's exactly right.
Good delivery. When the batter is expecting pace, don't provide him any. He's come back for the second, but the problem is both the batters need to run.
There were 2 there, that's right. That's one of the key ingredients. They both got to go, and they needed to go then.
He didn't receive the memo. Umar Butt. The over started brilliantly for Pakistan 11. Then they're losing a bit of momentum with that wicket lost. And now the second run, which was a hallucination.
So Bassett Ali in again, and that's run off the face behind square, quick single.
This is perfect batting if you're looking at the middle overs.
Yeah, that's right. If you were 3 for 110 or 3 for 90 or 14 and you were pacing yourself like this through the middle, that's exactly what you'd want.
100 still possible, or still a distant dream, given the fact that they're taking too many risks as well. If they have to get there, they have to
hit 2 sixes or a 6 and a couple of boundaries. Last ball of the 19th.
You're constantly contemplating that is a very good delivery. Kept it outside his reach as he saw him give the charge. Basit Ali is such a shrewd cricketer. In his quarter of 4, he completes dream figures of 15 for 3. Definitely a contender for the player of the match if his team goes on to win.
And that just took a bit of pace off. Good bounce for the slower delivery as well. Just kept rising. And with 1 to go, Pakistan 7 for 82. So can they even, a double figure over here gets them to 92, 93. And to say teams have scored about that against them this tournament. So not absolutely impossible, but Afghanistan would fancy their chances.
But at that time, the sun was bidding goodbye quicker, and there was something called the bonus.
Exactly. They got the bonus runs against India, which
Pakistan
almost got them home.
Given an option, Pakistan would say, can we rob 10 of that game and put it here?
Dot ball to start the final over, not what the doctor ordered there. Zarek Asil, who's been outstanding all tournaments.
The paces have been very accurate today.
They have, yep. They certainly have.
The angle is going to kick it away from the lefty. This could be again a good catch if he gets there. No, land safely. 2 for the taking. There was no calling. They just wanted 2 anyway. What starts with 2. Still 16 away from that psychological total.
Which just seems pretty long odds at the moment. Can they just scrounge their way into the 90s here?
What will also be important for Afghanistan is the fact that it'll give them a world of confidence. Oh, that's a brilliant delivery, giving him no room whatsoever. What will give them a world of confidence is the fact that they chased the last target down and the captain performed, stayed there till the end.
Yep, and they've had contributions from a couple of different players in each innings and been able to...
Yeah, that's what you want, isn't it? An individual can win you a game. An individual can win you 2 games, but a team put together can win you a championship. You need new heroes to emerge every time.
And that's a fuller ball wide of off stump, too far wide of off stump, so they'll get another.
As a bowler going forward in your follow through, just praying that you don't turn back to see the umpire's arm spread wide. Still, it's okay. He's conceded 3 of the first 2. It's still okay. He's crouching a little low, but he's made some contact on this one. He's made some contact on this one. Flies away over the ropes for 6.
So that gets us into the 90s now. 7 for 91 with 2 balls left. Can they boundary up on these and potentially get close to 100?
Didn't look like he got the full face on it either.
Right. It feels like he's still got a little bit more potentially to give on that. But 9 runs off this over, 2 to come.
Such a welcome 6. It pushes Pakistan past the 90 mark. Something to cheer about. Against a team like India, they made sure that they take it to the last over when they were given the cushion of 10 runs, of course. Now, can they get that cushion of 10 runs in these 2 balls? Fawad, 25 of 27. He hasn't put a foot wrong in this tournament, be it with a bat in hand or the ball in hand.
25 off 27.
Deep inside the crease, and he's chosen a lovely area. A couple of bounces will crattle into the fence. These are runs as valuable as they get. It's added respectability to the total. It's added a lot of moxie to Pakistan 11.
Well, they're in that area now, around about, these have been the scores in all of the games they've played. They won 1, they lost 1. So they're getting up to that level where they would have something to believe in, that maybe, just maybe, we might get the Duckworth-Lewis equation potentially if the rain does come again in the afternoon.
He swatted this one away. The call should be for 2, but the bit of ball watching would mean there's only 1 on offer. Might have missed a trick there, and he's kicking himself for that, but nonetheless he's provided a finish with which he'll get some momentum, and Pakistan can carry it at the halfway stage. 96 is a little below par, but they would want to make a game out of this if Mohammad Amir comes out unleashing his lovely skills.
If the new ball bowlers can strike early, just maybe it'll give them a chance. But it's 7 for 96. Afghanistan would have certainly taken that when they won the toss just before the day's play. So credit to them for what they've been able to do. They're 97 runs away from a spot in the final. Pakistan will have to bowl very, very, very well to defend it. But it looks at this stage like Afghanistan would be the favoured team to get through to the final. We'll press pause momentarily. Run chase not that far away, with Afghanistan needing 97 to play either India or Sri Lanka for the title.
something in between, but I was concentrating on
I'm
what
so
you said.
sorry. I thought you'd stepped off and then stepped in. That's my fault. No, they will go.
Well, it's got very overcast, but we're ready for the second innings and some late flurries, if you like, from forward. Got the score to 7 for 96. Sue Haas and Dan Lonigan with you for the start of the run chase. The winner through to the final tomorrow. I wonder whether Duckworth Lewis will be involved. I think it might. Sue Haas looking at the clouds above. Have Pakistan got enough?
You don't want to. You don't want it to be involved, isn't it? And Pakistan, have they got enough? You know what, at this stage, they would have done the planning and they would tell themselves and believe, so yes, we have. However, if rain steps in, then the game gets curtailed. That means less time for you to pick up wickets.
Yes.
They want the game to go the distance here. Not quite sure if Afghanistan wanted to go the distance because a revised target might be helpful for them in case the ball's doing a lot.
Yes.
But for Pakistan, it's important that the rain stays away.
But if they lose wickets, Afghanistan, it increases it, doesn't it, for Duckworth Lewis? Mohammed Amir to kick it off. Oh, that has taken off. And Cameron Akmal was outstanding the way he took that. Brilliant.
Perfect start. Just the perfect start. The engine is revving up.
Oh. He's due, the big fella is due to cut a swathe through one team's batting lineup.
Just love it. I can watch it 100 times because the fact that the yellow glove comes up and the white sphere just disappears in it. Such a treat to watch.
Oh, outstanding. He made that look easy, didn't he? Cameron Akmal in receiving that. Now, this is in the air by Sadiq. He's got plenty of this. Remember, the field is very much in for the first 6 overs. The two Pakistan fielders show great intent in hauling that in. A deep mid-wicket. It stopped like it was shot into the wind, which isn't all that strong. We need the wind up to dissipate any possibility of rain, but that's not likely.
Yeah, don't know about hitting it with the wind, but a shot that high can break the clouds. He's hitting it towards the rain.
And bring the blue behind it.
Do you think so? Amir knows that now the attack is on.
Karim Sadiq maybe trying to get these quickly. Javed Khan has been a solid opener at the other end, got runs in the first game. They're together to kick it off.
He's a Yorker coming up, no?
I think there's no doubt about that. Mohammed Amir bowls. He's hit him on the pad. Peel for LBW outside the line. Throw at the stumps, misses. Good backup, and Javed makes his ground. In the words of a commentator I know very well, William Laurie, it's all happening at Casey Fields.
It's all happening indeed. Yeah, we almost predicted there that he's got a ball too full. Yeah, a bit of swing, just
well,
a hint of
line,
swing.
It was right across his stumps. Yeah.
He wanted it to be straighter. Not getting the line right, Amir, but he's getting the length right. He's getting a bit of swing, just enough to produce the outside edge. There is a slip in place. He's added another one. Yeah, I think that is to play with the mind of the batter, that it's going to be the corridor of uncertainty, Dan.
No
this event is spicing up.
He is storming in, Mohammed Amir. He bowls again. Beaten. Is it caught behind? It is caught behind. He's taken that low, Cameron Akmal. He fended at that Javed. Out first ball, gone for a golden duck. And Pakistan are well and truly in this. It's 1 for 3 in the opening over, and the big fella, Mohammed Amir, has come to the party early days, Suhas.
The 2 stars of Pakistan 11 are getting it done at the moment. First with the pouch, and now this time a good low catch as well. He's pouched one up top, one low. The lower one had the edge with it. Javed Khan departs without troubling the scorers. Afghanistan 11, 3 for 1. Just love the intensity from the word go here. You wanted Amir to start this way to keep Pakistan in the hunt. That's exactly what he's done. Playing with the mind of the batter, adding another slip, strengthening the quadrant, generating the edge. Akmal accepts the catch with glee.
Great piece of bowling. He fended it away. He had him on the back foot, short of a length. I was watching him go through his paces with the coach Dale Christie. He's a well-known Australian cricket coach, and Dale again disappointed with their batting, but you could tell there was a lot of intensity amongst the bowlers through their practice runs.
You had a chat with Amir as well today, isn't it? What was he concerned about the rain today? Was he expecting the ball to swing a little more? Because yesterday while he was practicing, it was swinging a lot.
He said the wicket is a bit unpredictable. He also said he's due. He's already got a wicket early days, and he almost cuts Adam Amin in half.
Just loving the start here from Pakistan 11. Keeping the pressure on. Every ball is an event. And Amin's a man in form as well for Afghanistan 11. That sort of spices up the battle. This is the little battle within a battle that we can expect. Amir on top of his mark against Amin, who's in great form.
Well, he batted beautifully yesterday, and he bowled well today too. Took 2 wickets, as they really did put the brakes on Pakistan. Only made 7 for 96.
Ooh.
Good bowling again, but he manages to squeeze this away. Ball was a little bit too straight, pushed it behind square for 1, and he's off the mark, and it is 1 for 4 in the opening over. At the end of the opening over, it's a great start by Pakistan. They've got to get early wickets. That's what it's all about. If they weren't going to get early wickets, and they've only got 1 so far, Suhas, but that's 1 more than it being none for 4, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, early wickets is something that you discuss in all your team meetings and discuss as much as possible, so that's what gives you the momentum. And I've been harping on this word for a reason, because that's the difference between win or loss in this format of the game. So many times we've seen one boundary brings another, just like one wicket bringing another. And if you talk to Mohammad Rizwan, who plays for Pakistan, he harps a lot on momentum, because he understands that it's something that can provide the 2 points to you, or can put you down in the dumps as well.
I'll tell you who they're missing is Aziz. He's a very good bowler. He bowled well early in the tournament. He'd be very handy, but he's not playing today. And the rain is coming.
All right, Afghanistan now, having lost an early wicket. Umer Butt for the first time.
Yes, let's see what he does. Flash outside the off stump. The first slip was pretty keen. Cameron Akmal was not wearing those yellow gloves. He took it almost in front of the first slip, so there was a bit of late swing. He missed by a fairway. He tried the Kim Hughes cover drive on one knee with one hand off the bat.
You also have to respect the seesaw battle that's going on, this parcel that is being passed around, because the weather can be your best friend or no, depending on where you stand.
He bowls again, takes the outside edge. He was squared up a little bit. Not sure he was intended to play it there, but what he did well was he lowered the hands and ensured he kept it along the ground to squarish third man.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why this weather is going to be very tricky. Because one moment you're looking at 4 for 1, 5 for 1. Immediately you know, as Afghanistan, you've lost a wicket, so you've got to be slightly ahead if the Duckworth-Lewis comes out.
Yes.
Because you've lost that wicket. And now Pakistan is slightly ahead, so they don't mind that little drizzle. But for Duckworth-Lewis to be effective, you need at least 5 overs, if I'm not wrong.
So, it's not relevant just yet.
Not relevant just yet, but the wickets still are. Wickets are very relevant.
Here's Umer Butt again, storming in from the peninsular end. He bowls. He has a swing and a miss as he advanced down the ground. And, well, his aim was to hit that out of the ground, Sadiq, into the end that is normally into the wind.
Not going to be easy. Not going to be easy with the length that Umer Butt is bowling. He gave it away too early as well. Kareem Sadek, that is dancing down the track. I'm very interested in knowing the field placement at this stage. It's not a conventional slip.
No, it's not.
He's almost a short third man masquerading as a slip here.
It's like a wandering split. Here's Umer Butt again, swing and a miss once more from Sadiq.
What it also tells me, that fielder at that conventional short third man position masquerading as a slip fielder, what it tells me is the confidence of Akmal in pouching anything towards his right.
Correct.
On a swinging day. The ball is swinging not just this much, it's swinging quite a bit.
It's an overcast day. It's the sort of day you'd get in England.
It's an overcast day on this side of the ground, not the other oval. You could still see the blue sky there. I'm bewildered by Melbourne weather.
But the weather pattern's coming from the west, from the city. Oh, he just knocks it into the onside. He got squared up once again. It hit the splice of the bat. But unlike the Pakistanis, the field might have been deep on the onside with not many players inside the circle on the onside, at mid-wicket in particular. They were able to get a run, and the Pakistanis were just paralysed by their inability to really take on those short singles.
They understand at this stage, Pakistan 11, they've got to put that behind right now. They'll be concentrating only on the leather in hand and how to utilise it. The man on strike is a key wicket because he's a man in form. He's also steered his team to victory and has got them to the semi-final.
1 for 6, Umer Butt bowled. He gets one on his glove and he rings his glove. It was a good delivery. It took off more than he anticipated. And I reckon he's heard it. He's in a bit of trouble.
It's stinging him immediately. Akmal's providing the first aid. That's going to sting. That's going to sting indeed. that took off from nowhere.
Did. The very end, it looked like he was going to play it okay even from off his thigh pad, and then it just took off and it got his glove.
Luckily for him, he didn't stand up and beg to be taken. But he's in pain.
I think he's okay though.
But that's what you do when you play for your country, isn't it? You put the pains behind and you concentrate on one mission.
1 for 6. Look at Rick McCosker.
Yeah, and
Broke
at
his
this,
jaw, went out and batted with Rod Marsh. And the second innings, Greg Chappell said, "What are you doing?" He came back from the hospital in his gear, in his pads, batting down in the order. He normally opened the batting. He got hit in the jaw in the first innings. He got bowled. And Greg Chappell said, "What are you doing, Rick?" He said, "I'll go out and bat. You need me to help Marshy."
Reminds-
Believe it. Mohammed Amir starts a new over. And he works it down to Arwen, who's fielding in his customary position of backward point.
Reminds-
And they get 1 run, 1 for 7.
reminds me of Graham Smith's bravery as well.
Oh, yes, when he had to face the end of the Australian innings in Sydney.
Yeah, and they were relentless,
They were.
ruthless, the Pacers.
Of course they were. If you go out and you're on a sporting field, even if he only had one arm or one hand that he was able to use properly, the attitude is, in all sporting contests, you're fit to play. Even though you weren't
Wasn't
sure.
far away from the off stump. He's sitting there facing the stumps right now, and he's quite content knowing that the furniture hasn't been disturbed, but he's replaying that at least 100 times in his mind.
And now he's smiling, he was swinging.
That's
from
not
the
a position
bootlaces
that
and he
you...
ended up on his backside.
Yeah, that's not a position that you want to end up in when you're,
No.
when you're finishing a shot. The coaches are making note.
1 for 5 in his second over.
Mohammad Amir, I think the lack of pace in between is being used really well.
It's 1 for 7. He bowls now, and Adam Amin plays it into the offside, or the onside, I should say, came across his stumps. And Yusuf's appealing.
So was Amir. I think Amir expected it to be pad first and then the bat came in.
Right, okay.
But I think he was way down the crease as well, way down the pitch as
he
well
was.
for the point of
He
impact
came
to be
across his
considered.
stumps, didn't he? Yep.
And the fact that the ball would
Working
have
it
gone
into
to
the
hit the
onside.
stumps or no.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it wasn't a bad shot. That's one thing to do. Don't make yourself a candidate for LBW and also negate the swing. Two birds.
Got a gully in place here and a slip. He looks to swing the next one, and he's not able to.
Now the rain's got it.
really, really heavy, and they're coming in. The rain has got really heavy over the last couple of minutes or so as the covers have
The
been
game's
brought on.
The game is just getting more dramatic. The scenes is something that you do not want to watch. It's pouring down
Now,
here in
that is
Melbourne.
really heavy. That is as heavy as we've seen. I mean, even the last 12 hours we've had a lot of rain in the Melbourne metropolitan area. I live in the northeastern suburbs at the moment. Suhas, and it rained all night, and it rained this morning, and even rained when I went on my run, and I was sweating like 10 men.
Yeah.
Have a look at this. This is as heavy as we've seen all day. But if you look out the other side, there's a bit of blue sky, but there's still rain.
Yeah, there's still rain. Again, absolutely bewildered by the weather here. But look at the commitment of the men who got the covers in at the right time. They were waiting. They were very itchy to start running as soon as it starts pouring. The rain's so heavy that sitting in the comm box, we can hardly see them right now. It's never a good sign when in a cricket match you suddenly see frames of an Akira Kurosawa movie.
A what movie?
Akira Kurosawa, one of my favorite directors from Japan.
Right.
He always considers using elements like these in the background so that the frames stand out. You watch it, it's a brilliant, he's a class apart. But that's for a different day. On this day we want cricket.
Well, we do.
Rain, rain, go away.
Yeah, last year we had excellent weather. We didn't get any breaks in play. I mean, we've been pretty lucky, although October was an horrendous month in Melbourne, and it saw a lot of the local cricket competitions, especially those on turf, have to revamp their fixture and go from having two-day cricket, which we haven't had for 2 years because of COVID.
But did
go
you send
back
that
to,
memo?
one-day fixture.
You wanted to have two-day cricket, I understand that, Dan, but did you send that memo to the international cricket venues as well? Because the test matches are finishing in 2 days.
Well, that's exactly right, because the bowling's dominating the batting. I don't mind that too much, not 2 days, maybe 3 days into the early stages of the fourth. But I actually really enjoyed the Australian and South African test match. I know that Cricket Australia were disappointed because they're all about Welcome back to Casey Fields. We've had a break in play and now the sun is out and it's quite hot and humid, and that unbelievable shower, and it teamed down for the best part of 10 or 15 minutes, left a lot of puddles just outside the pitch. That was well protected. A number of us, including yours truly, don't know what I was doing. We all were able to remove the covers. A little bit of water spilled on the area near the pitch, but it's been cleaned up magnificently by Shane and his team. And we're ready to go. It's a revised target, revised number of overs. When play was called off, the target was 97 for the Afghan team to win. They were 1 for 7. They lost an early wicket. Mohammed Amir bowled beautifully, getting Javed out. But now 18 overs and the target is 90. Darren Parkin is with me, and Parko, we always thought Duckworth Lewis might get involved. But we didn't think that the rain would be as heavy as it was, but I'm not surprised that the sun is out and it's good as it was.
It was super intense.
All day.
Yeah, all hands on deck, including yourself out there helping to get the covers off, which was great.
A couple of players.
Yeah, absolutely. It reminded me of there was a WNCL game between Victoria and New South Wales obviously in the women's cricket, and superstars playing like Elise Perry and Alyssa Healy and Gardner and the like, and they were all out there putting the covers on during a heavy rainstorm, and we saw a little bit of that here as well with commentators, players, fielders, umpires, everyone chipping in.
I was doing.
But it's a pretty good job. We're back here, ready to go. 90 runs required for Afghanistan, so that's 83 off.
Mohammed Amir bowling well, bowling his second over. It's pulled away. Adam Amin, who plays Premier Cricket for Ringwood, and he didn't think they fielded that well. I thought, gee, you're a hard taskmaster. Had a bit of a chat to him earlier. He's surprised you're actually out there because he could see there was a lot of water around the pitch.
83 off 91 they need from here. Off 97, sorry. No, I was right the first time, 91. Just doing some maths in my head. 82 off 91 now.
So the two best batters are in. Karim Siddiq getting ready now for Mohammed Amir, and he drops it a couple of metres away. This is what Pakistan and Suhas and I were talking about it earlier before the rain came. This is what they didn't do enough of, Pakistan. For most of their innings, drop and run. There was no intent. They were a bit hesitant. They were paralysed by the fact that the Afghan fielders were ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, and it's amazing body language. We noted at the start of the play the body language of the Afghanistan fielders. They were really sharp, and clearly on a number of occasions they hit the stumps the first time they had the chance to throw it down, nearly got a run out, and for the rest of that innings the Pakistan players weren't prepared to take on the arm. They probably left 8 or 10 runs out there, not going for those doubles.
Now the rain was that heavy that our esteemed leader Harry went out and he had put the covers on. He came back in and his white shirt was soaked through, his pants were soaked through, so he's now wearing an Indian top and I think Pakistani pants.
And I think his bride said he should have bought a change of clothes.
Don't think there's any doubt about
on
that.
Reflection he should have.
I was able to decipher that, even though I don't speak the language. 1 for 9.
I think we all know angry wife language though.
Yes, we do. Here's Umir Butt. Now, as is today, a swing and a miss, beaten outside the off stump, and he's a very passionate cricketer, Karim Siddiq. He has a swipe saying, I missed an opportunity there.
Yeah, you
Although
don't
it's a stacked offside field, it would have been a good shot to beat that field.
Didn't have to guess what he was thinking there. Umir Butt, who played a couple of nice shots late just to give him his team a little bit more to play with, and he himself a little bit more to bowl with.
Darwood batted well with 29 not out. Second time he's been unbeaten. And helped Pakistan get to 93 the other day. And this is on the leg stump, and he whips it away through mid-wicket, and unfortunately a slip, and through his fingers the nutmeg, and it goes to the boundary for 4. Bad mistake.
Didn't
he afford to make errors like that? Hassan, one of the players included today for Aziz, who they would love out there for Pakistan, one of their best bowlers, but nice shot.
That's the wet outfield, yeah. The wet outfield playing a part there as he slid past the ball, and the Afghanistan fielders are in front of us love that. They really got into him. We'll talk in a minute about these equations too, because normally with a 20 over innings you can have 5 bowlers bowl 4. Today it'll be you can have 3 bowl 4 and 2 bowl 3.
Here's Umir Butt. And it's outside the off stump, and it's so wide that it's been called a wide. He stayed in his crease. He did not move across to try and cut that one. And he tried to hang the bat out to dry, and it was clearly wide.
It's a good pick-up. If you think it's going to be wide, you're better off staying where you are in the crease. If you follow it, you could tempt the umpire to think you've got to be closer to that.
Did not move his feet at all. But in again. Bowls him! Magnificent delivery. Castles him right through him. One of the balls of the tournament. Yorker length, and Karim Sadiq plays over the top of it. He's out for 10. And it's 2 for 14. The two openers gone now for Afghanistan. Pakistan right back in the contest, Darren Parker.
Well, it's all happening in the 5 balls since we got back from the rain delay. We've had a misfield boundary, we've had a wide, we've had a couple of played and misses, and now we've had a dismissal, and we'll have a look at that here. An absolute cracker of a delivery. The Yorker.
It was inconsistent, but when he gets them, he makes big hundreds. And Adam Amin having a good year too for Ringwood and doing well as captain of Afghanistan, Dash.
Absolutely. These two geographical neighbours locked in a fierce battle.
2 for 24 in the 5th. Muhammad Amir storms in bowls, beaten outside the off stump again. He went for the drive. He didn't have his foot to the pitch, had his head in the air, and again got beaten by pace. Muhammad Amir bowling well here.
Yeah, he is. ... Probably need him to get 3 for at least, you'd think, for them. He's already got the 1 wicket. Terrific to get rid of Javed early.
Javed was there to play the shoot anchor role as he did in the first game when they got over the line. Muhammad Amir bowls again. Adam Amin drives fluently but can't beat mid-off. Who's in the row. That was a good shot. That was good bowling too. Good cricket all round. Good piece of fielding as it hummed along the ground to mid-off.
You always try to get an appreciation from a vantage point. We're obviously lucky enough to get the chance to commentate some of these fine players, but looking at the speed of the ball through the air out of the hand for Muhammad Amir, to try to get some sort of a glimpse of what it might be like to face somebody like that.
Amir, slow one, pushed into the offside, takes the splice of the bat. He played it okay though. He managed to lower the hands and keep it down. It's been an excellent over, hasn't it? It's going to be a maiden over if he's able to get a dot ball off the last ball, and they'd be happy with that. The 5 overs gone and 2 for 24. The revised target 90 off 18 overs.
A wicket maiden would be even nicer for him.
And after this, Sri Lanka doing battle with India. The winner through to the final, of course, the winner of this through to the final as well. Muhammad Amir in his orange boots bowls, and he gets a hook shot. Amin over the head of the wicketkeeper and goes to the boundary for 4. Unfortunately, third man wasn't fine enough. He was never going to stop that, and that was a short delivery, and he decided, I'm just going to put the bat above my head and get a boundary, and he does. Well done, Amin. And it ends though pretty good over by Muhammad Amir. 1 for 11 off 3 after 5. Afghanistan, the revised target is 90. They're 2 for 28. Adam Amin 7 and Shinwari on 10. The great man Suhas is coming in to join Darren Parkin for the next few overs. And looking at the sunshine, Suhas and Darren, who would have thought it rained here a half an hour ago?
Two for 28, Afghanistan. 62 runs required off 13 overs. So 62 off 78 balls. That equation looks kind for them. But the reality of a high-pressure semi-final against a good bowling attack, you put all of those elements in and they're not across the line just yet. We're going to see some spin forward into the attack.
He's one of the best fielders and one of the best spinners in the entire tournament.
And made runs as well.
And there is a reason I said fielders first, because it's off his own bowling.
Exactly. He's part of why they got to where they got to as well. Made, was it 27 or thereabouts towards the end? Forward Malouk.
Slip in place though. That's great to watch.
Yes.
28 for 2, Afghanistan 11. Kept under control, but some momentum to them with a flurry of boundaries against Amir. This game's also getting into a zone where they're allowed to take those singles more often than not and target only 1 ball every over, because it's bright and sunny and there's no sign of rain.
That's right. which is bizarre for, as Dan said, given what we had an hour ago. Did he get the boot up?
Malouk believes he's got him. And it's going to be a very important wicket in the context of the game. It's an in-form Amin trudging back to the pavilion.
Yeah, he's walking. The foot just bobbling up a fraction. It gets slid out. Maybe just with the damper track, he couldn't get the foot back quickly enough. He gives the pad a little bit of a belt with the bat on the way through. And now, at 3 for 29, they're just picking up wickets at regular intervals. Spin comes into the attack, goes bang straight away.
That's the way to go, isn't it? Pick up wickets at regular intervals. Keep denting the confidence.
Good umpiring to give that straight away too, because it was reasonably close and he had the confidence to immediately call that.
It's a huge wicket though, because Adam Amin's the same person who guided Afghanistan to a victory in a crunch game, brought them to the semi-final. Now it's going to be a different hero to emerge if Afghanistan 11 want to book a berth in the finale
We saw
of Aussie Cricket League 2.0.
We saw Shinwari start really well with a 6 and a 4 in the previous over. He's still there. Alim Dar comes to the crease. Man who took a very good catch in the outfield for Afghanistan in their bowling innings. Can he help guide them to victory? They just need someone to get a 30 or a 35 not out. That'll be enough.
It's a matter of one partnership, this.
Yep.
And what that Rainbreak has done by reducing the number of overs is that it's created more problems for Pakistan as they wanted the whole game to play out. Less time means more trouble. That's lovely delivery. Oh, this one bounced a little more.
Well, that hit it, yeah.
There isn't a provision for elbow before the wicket, so he didn't appeal.
No, well, it's hit him above the stumps. I think anything on the body. I remember Sachin Tendulkar being given out LBW off the helmet.
Yes.
Which is controversial, but yeah, that was definitely too high.
He didn't duck that much.
No, that's right. So good over this.
Excellent over indeed. I mean, you've thrown the ball to and the captain says, give me a wicket because that's the only way you can stay in the game. Doesn't take much time, provides you the breakthrough.
Yeah, you sense that there's no way they're going to bowl 18 overs and have Afghanistan under the target. They have to bowl them out effectively.
That's a beautiful delivery once again. He wants him to drive. That's where you know you create the opportunities.
So 3 for 30, so they're a third of the way there. 60 required, 30 down, 60 to go. Who will get the first spot in the final? India and Sri Lanka will fight for the second.
Is he going to make him lean into the drive again? That's an effective delivery once again. Just wants the batter to be enticed. But he's hit it down the ground and on the ground.
Singles are still kind for Afghanistan. They just creep a little bit closer. At the moment, they still need less than a run of balls, so every single takes them forward in the game. That would be a conventional power play. Obviously, the power play a little different given the 18 overs that Afghanistan will face here. It is 3 for 31, 59 needed, 72 rocks to get it from. Shinwari to face up.
You
here.
mentioned 72 what?
Rocks.
Nice.
Agates.
Something?
Oh, it's a bit of an Australian vernacular. If someone bowls a good delivery, that was a nice rock.
Yeah.
Or a Jaffa, perhaps.
Jaffa more used, yes.
And of course, Jaffas are small, round, and orange or red. Very good cherry.
Zuta. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Rosuta. That is a type of delivery, I think.
There was one word added to the world of cricket every time Shane Warne said, I've got something new now. He named a lot of deliveries, didn't he?
He did name a lot of deliveries. Well, he had the, most famously, he had the flipper and the wrong'un, which is the doosra around the world, and had the top spinner and obviously the conventional leggy, but I'm sure there were names for various other deliveries.
Absolutely,
along the way.
Cricket misses him almost every day.
Absolutely.
Any leg spinner who comes up.
Yeah, it's an amazing... One thing I always said about the Shane Warne legacy is that in an era when every single kid in Australia wanted to bowl leg spin, and all of us tried to bowl leg spin in the backyard. We've never, as a country, been able to produce anything close to that ever again. So if everyone's trying to do something and no one does it, it shows how good that guy was.
Even if you have the skill, the wrists that he was blessed with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Cricketing mind. He's got enough room for that to be cut away. That'll race away to the fence. In fact, it's skidding with a little bit of wet outfield.
So be very pleased with that. Alamdar getting on strike early in the over. That's short and wide, and that just basically sits up and says, hit me.
You know when a spinner is operating from the other end and a boundary of this kind is scored, as a spinner you tend to be a little worried because you never know. You might be asking for a ball of feather, you're getting a bar of soap.
Well, exactly right. And that's the other thing for spinners too in games like this, getting grip on a ball that's going across the wet outfield. And so 90 the revised target, and those boundaries,
they're upping the ante at the right time.
Like gold.
The poor deliveries are being put away. Excellent delivery. That's the kind of comeback delivery that you dream of. He was trying to manufacture the room to pepper the same area, get the same result, not to be, Darren.
It wasn't to be, as you say, and they've got to keep coming, Pakistan. They have to attack because they need wickets, even though obviously attacking runs the risk of runs flowing.
Just swung through it a little earlier. The change in pace is still a wonderful trick in the book. The thing about Abdul is that he's got to keep the batter guessing. He's doing so with the pace, but he's not doing so with the length.
No, that's right. He's just got that wrong a little bit. He's not getting a lot of movement. That, as I said, that one that got hit for 4 just sat up. And how do Pakistan juggle their bowlers from here on in?
Gently guided for a single. Usually when you use the word juggle and you use the word Pakistan in the same breath, it's used for catches.
Yes, exactly right.
But you've got some excellent fielders here though.
Yeah, we do. The fielding has been one of the highest, or the best aspects of this entire event. I know the World 11 dropped some catches, but with the exception of that, every side has fielded well. I'd say Afghanistan have been the fielding team of the tournament, and that might be enough to get them into this final. They saved probably a dozen runs today. Some of the catching from India yesterday as well was very impressive, particularly when they'd already had the game won.
Yeah, true. The Stephen Biggs catch.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable indeed. 7 overs, 37 for 3. They keep discussing that catch as well. I mean, the game was done and dusted.
Exactly.
He could have taken it on the bounce and no one in the world would have questioned him.
Exactly, because in that situation, you've got all sorts of things going through your head. Like, it's a semi-final. If I dive, I could do a shoulder, potentially.
And he's got a big season coming up
in
Melbourne after this.
Exactly. Like, you'd be certainly forgiven for thinking, I'll let this bounce. I'll just make sure that I'm okay coming out of this game. But great commitment to the cause to be charging to the finish line of a match. And it obviously teaches you about winning, because you've obviously got to play to the siren or play to the final whistle.
So true, Darren. So true. 4 ballers used so far by Pakistan 11. A wicket apiece for Ramir Butt and Fawad Malook. Abdul Hasib in his first over gave away 6. Lots of bowling to come. And Amir's got one more over up his sleeve. And that will be absolute gold dust for the captain of Pakistan 11. 11 dot balls, as pointed out by Dan. 11 probing questions. At 37 for 3 at the end of 7. Pakistan believe they're still in the hunt. It's a matter of a wicket. One brings another. That's saying is not just true for Test match cricket. It can be translated into T20 cricket as well.
Absolutely. They've got to keep pressure on it. Only 7 balls faced for these two. As much as they've scored 19 between them, they wouldn't be absolutely set in stone at the crease. Another rotation here with Arwen coming into the attack.
Excellent delivery, and I think it's got him here. Absolutely has the perfect start for Qamar Rawan.
And another stumping. Cameron Akmal having a fair influence on this contest. Whipped the bails off twice, and it's only been a little look. On both occasions, the batsman has only lifted the foot a fraction, and he's been lightning quick, Cameron Akmal. And he's got both these breakthroughs.
He's purchased this wicket by ensuring that he leaves extra cover open. There's a man inside cover, yes, prompted the shot inside out, loses the balance, does the batter. And it's going to be a long walk indeed when you fail in this manner. 37 for 4. There would be a twist in the tail. It's not done yet.
Certainly is not done. 52 still seems a long way away. They've just got to hold their nerve here, Afghanistan, and know that they are still in the contest.
They still are. It's a matter of one good partnership, isn't it, Darren?
That's right.
I just love the way Akmal's taking charge here. He knows the angles the best. He's the closest to the batter. He's ensuring that the singles are not going without any strain.
And you look at him here directing traffic. He's telling everyone where he wants them to go. This is a man who's played for his country 268 times. He knows what the business is like at this stage of a match. He was their leading run scorer, and now he's had 2 stumpings.
Alamdar Raza makes his way to the middle in his 16 games, 210 runs amassed. He's got a 50 under his belt, highest of 56. That's solidly defended.
So Nazir, 13, not out with or Shinwari rather, with a bit of responsibility. Pakistan in with a sniff.
The finger spinners are doing really well. First it was Aingaran, and now, I'm talking about throughout the contest, that is throughout the tournament. Now it's Avan.
And he fielded that pretty well off his own bowling. It was hit pretty hard. He knocked it down. They do get a run for it, but
even Sri Lanka had Sundara.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Sri Lanka have used spin a lot in this tournament, and they'll probably do that again later today against India.
Beautifully punched away. That single will put him at ease. He's been at the striker's end a little too much for his liking, and the runs weren't flowing.
Spot on, a back foot punch. And they just got to turn the strike over. As much as they're 4 wickets down, they just can't panic, Afghanistan. They need a good partnership, and they'll win the game.
And the lifeline of that partnership has got to be singles and twos. Might get 2 here, might get even more. Placement has been done to perfection. Once again on the back foot, slightly short there, Aman, and he's put it away in superb style.
Yeah, that's a brilliant shot. Great timing, onto the back foot, gave himself room, pierced the gap. They've got about 4 fielders through that offside region. And that's the thing, boundary balls will come. If you just knock it around, you'll get your boundary balls and you'll take this target down.
47 of 61. Equations under control if you're looking for one big partnership here. Afghanistan 11 would be reminding themselves. And Pakistan 11, they've got to be relentless.
Well, they're almost halfway there now, Afghanistan, with the 7 runs they picked up towards the back end of that over, 4 for 44. So they're almost at the halfway point. But Pakistan would feel they're almost halfway there too, with 4 wickets in the shed.
Ada was gone. All 4s on the board.
That's right.
You got to feel for Kamran Akmal. He was ensuring that the angles are right, and one poor delivery, which was too short for the bowler's liking, and that was put away.
Yeah, Kamran Akmal fighting as hard as he can to get into the contest. 46 off 60. .46
of the last 10 with the sun shining bright. 6 wickets in hand. Afghanistan 11 would be feeling that they have their time. They have it under control. Extra bit of bounce. That's the spicy delivery.
That was absolutely spicy. Very short, jumped up. Batsman had to play that right on his toes. And so Pakistan 5 minutes behind on overs, but we've obviously had a lot of delays due to rain. This is the second innings of the match, so they can obviously take a bit of time between this and the India-Sri Lanka match.
Now, if it's the first innings, then you're penalised in terms of adding runs to the opposition to chase. But what if, how do you penalise something
That's
like
right.
This now?
It's difficult, obviously, with the deadlines. Deadlines are a bit stricter in the first innings.
That's it hard. Man in the deep, no chance. Who'll win the race here? The ball's trickling away though. Captain Sohail's got to retrieve. Does well with the throw. Abdul's taking the pace off. Have we already entered that zone in cricket where he's going to take the pace off? It's 8.1 overs. It's not death overs yet.
No, that's right. They've got to try as much as they can here. All sorts of variety. Good shot. Just nudged away. So 4 off 3. So that means they've scored 11 off the last 8 balls, which is like gold for Afghanistan.
He's controlling really well. Just picking and choosing the right deliveries. Tassin's he's not wasted any time. 7 of 5. Has already found a boundary in between. 17 of 10 for Nazir. The run scoring opportunities are presented. That's a good delivery. Had him in all sorts of trouble. Akmal's not happy, even though he collected it cleanly. He's not happy with something. The lack of bounce, it is a real thing indeed. It's not a hallucination. Four runs of the over so far. This is what they need to do more often than not, Darren.
This is smart from Afghanistan. Turning the strike over. So they've wiped off, just in the space of probably 5 minutes, they've taken a quarter of the runs they need almost. So they've just got to look at that equation and not be daunted by it. I mean, 4 wickets in the column, but 41 runs required for victory, or 42 runs required for victory.
That's the quickest of the lot. And the quickest of the lot has delivered a dot ball. Much required for Pakistan 11. Hasib gives away 10 in his first 2. 48 for 4.
So they're almost back where they want to be, Afghanistan. Too many wickets, but certainly within striking distance. I'll step out, taking you through to the conclusion will be Suhas with Dan Lonigan, who will take the first spot in the final. I'm still with Afghanistan, Dan.
I'm too, Darren. What about you, Suhas? You're going to sit on the fence for a couple of overs and we'll pull the splinters off in about 2 or 3 overs' time, will we?
That'll be much better.
Well, I'm not going to pull them out, though. 4 for 48, or 4 for 49 it is. Just need Shinwari. I reckon they get Shinwari out there right into the middle order.
No, absolutely. Now, the thing about Afghanistan 11 is, even though they played a lot of cricket with each other, they played in different positions.
Yeah, they
and
do.
They're still getting used to these positions. And that one was a brilliant delivery. So it's about the script that's been handed to you on that particular day, given the situation and the scenario of the game itself. It's not like Tassin usually bats at number 6.
Forward, Malouk, if he can get another couple of wickets and they win the game, not that he'd be too worried about that, he might be man of the match because he was the one that got runs late, 30 off 29 with Cameron Akmal. Without them, they wouldn't have even got 50.
He's got the taste of being a man of the match before. He's got a slip in place as well, wants to utilise it. Balls like these will. Akmal's not the happiest man on earth as he wants the batter to commit on the front foot. Just love the way he plays with angles, Akmal. Such an experienced cricketer.
He does. He's asking the field to come in even.
Is he eking a
Cover's
mistake
so
out?
deep, isn't he?
Yeah. Is he eking a mistake out? That's another good delivery. Every dot ball. And look how quickly he gets back to the mark as well. He's not allowing enough time for the batter to breathe. 4 dot balls strung together in this garland of dot balls, creating more troubles for Afghanistan. Pushes him to do something out of the comfort zone.
LBW.
No death as the finger rises. The 4 dot balls has produced this wicket, make it 5 dot balls, and the best dot ball of the lot is the one that has W written over it.
And Tashin not happy about it. He stood there for a long, long time. The umpires took a long time to give that decision, but again, why do you go for the switch hit? Why do you go for that or the reverse sweep?
He was feeling suffocated there with those 4 dot balls, and Malouk being so quick and breathing down his neck.
He's got 2 for 3, Fawad Malouk. He bowled beautifully. Reminded me of my man yesterday, Tej Gandhi, who got through his overs quickly.
Yeah.
He wasn't running between deliveries, but he just hit the spot every time.
What an asset he is to the side, isn't it?
We look forward to seeing him bowl today against Sri Lanka.
Yeah, by that time you would feel that the outfield's not going to be as wet as this one.
Now, I reckon if you were looking at who's going to win this, I think Pakistan are in front now, 55-45.
Clearly more experienced Pakistan, and they've saved the right bowlers for the right situation. Basit Ali makes his way to the middle with 385 runs, highest of 75. That strike rate's unbelievable, 195.
Yes.
He can strike the ball a long way. the situation is not such that he can use the long handle immediately. He needs to cultivate a partnership for about 2 to 3 overs. Believe more in Nazir before he can give the ball a tonk. And a single of this kind is just what the doctor ordered. At the halfway stage, 50 comes up for Afghanistan 11 for the loss of 5.
Remember, they've got another 8 overs to go. 40 needed, revised target after we had rain. And did we have rain? It came from the trees. And have you seen rain like that before?
No.
You have not?
No.
Didn't last long?
Not the way it appeared. You know it's going to rain, yes, but not the way it just came by. And it was raining even when it was bright and sunny here.
It was?
It's been a while since I've seen that. Nasir Shinwari, 17 of 11. It's going to be an innings of substance. He's got to continue. And
154.55 is his strike rate. Sorry, yeah. 154.55 the strike rate, so he's the one. And we know that Bassett Ali can hit it too. So these are the two that need to get going. There's long off out on the boundary. Just try to check the field. There's deep cover. And they're going to move around mid-off and mid-on. And it looks like Muhammad Amir is going through his paces to get ready to bowl his final over. And he's gone into slip, a deep slip.
What an over it was from Fawad Malook, isn't it? Just giving away a run and picking up a wicket. Keeping the pressure on.
He's now gone to short, squarish third man, Muhammad Amir. There's a fine leg in place as well.
This is a good blend in this field. Oh, that's a wonderful delivery.
Yusuf is into the attack.
Yeah, Yusuf's into the attack, and it's a good blend, this field, of aggression and caution. He's saving the singles, but he's got to keep it outside off. If this is the field that's been offered to him, he's got to keep it outside off.
Bowling his leggies.
Yusuf Iqbal has got a good wrong-un. Slider is a thing in progress.
Oh, trying to hit that out of the ground. Wasn't that brilliantly taken by Cameron Akmal?
Yeah, he's making it look so simple. Behind the wicket today, Akmal's been excellent from the word go. First, the pouches.
Again, beaten Bassett Ali. He's trying to swing them out of the ground. He's trying to hit them to the city.
Strangling the opponents here with dot balls after dot balls. Yusuf Iqbal started off in a dream fashion. Yet to concede a run.
40 needed off 45. Another swing and a miss. Oh.
4 dot balls. The last time we saw 4 dot balls together, a wicket followed. Basid Ali, it's not for the lack of trying. He's trying his best to hit against the spin and on the leg side. That's the plan.
But don't you just, with the field so deep on the offside, don't you just knock it away and you can get a run?
He's got to cover, move across to the off stump.
Well, he swings this next one, ends up being a full toss. 2 fielders out in the deep, one a deep backward square, and they only get 1. 4 for 51. One ball left in the over.
Still a tidy over, just 1 run off it, Dan. And can he close it out? Well, the field hasn't changed for both the batters. They're still expecting that cut shot to come through.
Shinwari.
The point is in place. Straight back to the bowler.
Yeah, he got a full toss and he didn't quite know what to do with it because I think that they're lacking a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, what an over this has turned out to be for Pakistan 11. They tightened the screws here. 1 run, just 1 of it. Yusuf Iqbal's delivered a beauty. 51 for 5 in 11. This semi-final, this context, this battle, it can go closer than you think. At one stage it was Afghanistan 11 cruising, with Pakistan struggling to pick up early wickets, but now they've come back into the game with wickets at regular intervals and a stoppage of runs. Fawad Malook, his 4 overs would be very, very vital in deciding this contest.
You have to remember too, Suhas, that they had a run rate of under 4 and over for a lot of their innings, Pakistan, so it was a real battle. Here's our man again, Farwood's having a great match. Tempted swing and a miss, looking for the slog speed for 6. And he misses once more, Bassett Ali. He won't die wondering, will he?
Yeah, that's not a bad option at all. He's left the mid-wicket open to entice the batter to go for the cross-batted stroke.
Very clever.
He's done so well. Again.
Beaten.
What is it about the top of off? The coaches keep telling you, don't they?
Well, they do, and he's just bowling magnificently. metronomically, which is the way Glenn McGrath used to bowl. We saw Tej Gandhi yesterday. Hits it down the ground, and there'll be 1 run here to long on.
1 run's fine.
5 for 52. Look at his figures.
5 for 2. 15 deliveries bowled, 5 for 2.
You're in Australia, 2 for 5.
2 for 5.
He's in again. Beaten outside the off stump. Cameron Akmal has taken the catch. He's gone. Beaten in a faint edge. And that's a big, big wicket for Pakistan. I reckon they're heading to the semi-final. They've got the big wicket of Shinwari. And they're in trouble now at 6 for 52 in the 12th over. And those 38 runs seem a long, long, long way away, Suhas. Oh, how well's he going forward?
I think he curtailed him deep inside the crease also because of the length at which he's bowling. Was caught in 2 minds there, Shinwari, whether to commit himself to the forward shot with the front foot or plonk his back foot and try and shift his weight. All that he was able to do on that occasion was generate the edge, and that was enough for Akmal to swallow the ball.
Well, he hit a 6 and 4 of consecutive deliveries, and then he was starved of the strike. And maybe he felt he just had to do too much. Now, Moomin Amin, who is a very positive wicket keeper, he seemed to appeal for everything out there for Afghanistan today. And he needs to try and get his team home. But Farwood Malouk is the match winner here, 3 for 5.
3 for 5, and it shall be 3 for 5. How quickly he resets.
Darts it in straight away.
That is why. That is exactly why he's such a good friend to the captain.
He's in again. And
much better.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better on it. Gave himself room and it just squeezes away on the offside.
3 for 5 in 3 overs. Wicket and a run in that one. 52 for 6, Afghanistan 11. Let's game on. Required rate is touch 6.3. Dan, I'll tell you what, irrespective of the country, I think I was at fault. It is 3 for 5 indeed, irrespective of the country when you're leading the bowling.
Oh, I understand that. I mean, we're just having a bit of fun, that's fine. Yeah, look, what a spell it's been. I mean, he made runs late, which gave them something to bowl at. Yeah. Obviously, the rain, well, I think has helped them a bit. Afghanistan, I know they lost an early wicket, but at the end of the day...
Don't know about the conditions that have changed because of the rain, a wet outfield or a surface changing, but it's definitely broken the momentum that the batters had. Sometimes the breaks act in favour of the fielding side, and it was one such occasion.
38 needed off 36. Fawad Malouk with his leg spin. Whacked down the ground by Bassett Ali. On the bounce to deep cover. Good bowling by Yusuf.
He started well, isn't it? The previous over was excellent from Yusuf. Now remember, we've lost a bit of time because of the rain, so there has been a bit of delay. We can't call it the rain delay, but we can call it delay because of the rain.
Correct.
But it's good to see that the game hasn't been curtailed much. We've lost out just 2 overs.
Yusuf tosses it up, inviting the batter to drive, and he beats the infield. That, of course, is Moomin Amin, and he's off the mark. And it's 6 for 54, so they need 36 off 34. We're into the second ball, the 13th over.
It's not as straightforward as it looks.
Oh, no.
36 of 34 with 4 wickets in hand and the pitch doing a bit. Why is he going for the glory shot here when all he has to do is take this game as close as possible? They do have the batting prowess to get there. It is flummoxing.
Well, he tried to go for the slog sweep, didn't he? Maybe that's what he knows best. And he goes down the ground. That's what he knows best. That's why he's gone for the slog sweep, because when he gets onto it, it'll clear the fence, and it does. Over mid-wicket, big shot, and that'll help their cause. They're now 6 for 60. Oh, did he get onto that?
Living dangerously, but he latched onto this one, though. Wow, that's a clean strike. No half measures whatsoever. Wanted to send it sailing, and it's going to be a while since that ball... That ball cannot be retrieved. Simple as that. There's a lake alongside. You've got to go fishing tomorrow. You know what I'm doing on 25th.
You're going fishing?
Yeah,
what about the Christmas turkey?
You know what? It was
Yeah.
a distant dream of mine, especially a kid growing up in India. As we see this one land into the lake, the Fishers Avenue visitor. They didn't call for this one. So, to get the feel of the Kookaburra ball. Of course, the SGs, we have the other test balls as well back in India and subcontinent conditions.
But is
But
the
since it's
Kookaburra
my
the
first
one?
time, in Australia. So I was in awe when I saw this wonderful piece of leather.
Do you think it's different? We'll get to that in a second.
So it is worth
Oh, an
looking
outside
forward
edge.
to
This
taking.
might nearly be out on land safely.
Is living dangerously.
Oh, he was trying to flick that on the onside, but it takes the outside edge.
I think he's understood the rule. If you get it from the front of the bat, you get 6. If you get it from the back of the bat, you only get a risky single.
Correct. And he got beaten by the flight then. So brings Muminam in on strike, having a good over this time, Bangladesh. And he square drives the next one into deep cover. Good piece of fielding. They keep it down to 1, but it takes a bit of pressure off them. So 28 needed
13 overs later.
off 30 balls.
That's a terrific over for Afghanistan 11. They've got the momentum back. 10 runs of that over. And the manner in which they've got that 10 singles on either side of the over. And in between, smashing 1 for 6.
One more over like that might be enough.
Required 28 of 30 balls. And there was a bit of space there. You could sense that is for you to punctuate the sentence with a comma and start adding to reserve a place in the final.
I like that. Or to book a place in the final.
Yes.
To play tomorrow.
This.
Or as an Australian rules coach, Malcolm Blight, once said, when Adelaide had won a preliminary final narrowly against the Bulldogs in 97, guess what? I've had a letter from the AFL today. They've invited us to play in the grand final, even though they earned it themselves. I thought it was fantastic
You know what, Dan?
psychology.
Well, we'll keep the chat alive.
Here's forward. Yeah, good bowling. Right on line. Straight back to the bowler.
Fawad consistent. Malouk continues.
Yes. 3 for 5.
Just
One ball of his
Just
final
to
over.
add to the animal references that you've been giving me for 2 days, you and Darren.
Yes.
You have an elephant's memory. We can add that too.
Well, we do.
Because you sort of open up.
Attempts to cut, gave himself room. A little bit more bounce than he anticipated then. Muminam in. And I tell you what, he's been on song today, the wicketkeeper Cameron Akmal. And now he
that
comes
could be
across, he
close.
stumps hit on the pad. Pill for LBW, they plead. It might have been a little bit high.
The replay will tell us a better story. But the finger that mattered, that stayed down. Finger that matter.
6 for
Matters.
62, but again, 3 dot balls.
He moved across there. He moved
He did.
across, and that was close indeed. If there was no
Now there's a
ball, this
wicket.
time the
Yes,
bat is involved. The 3
absolutely.
dot balls brings a wicket.
So they've managed to survive an LBW decision, but then the next ball, Muminam in, goes out forward. Malouk can do no wrong. He's got 4 for 5. 7 for 62. He's been outstanding. I mean, as soon as he's bowled one delivery, he worries about the next one, and the next one generally produces a positive result.
Afghanistan 11 were preparing for Mohammad Amir. Fawad Malouk came out of syllabus. 4 wickets for 5 runs.
Let's have a look at this.
Unbelievable. These are unreal figures in a big semi-final. This was the delivery before,
Yes,
where it was a good shout actually.
it was. He came across his stumps though, didn't he? Yep.
Remember, we lost a bit of time. So the toss is happening alongside. It's not happening in the middle, but it's happening alongside live as we give you the second semi-final toss. India take on Sri Lanka. It's going to be a blue affair.
Very blue affair.
Looks like Sri Lanka won the toss. And we'll wait for Pete's signal to tell us if it's going to be batting or bowling.
There might be one change in the Indian side as well. I'm not sure about the Sri Lankan team as yet. Not sure what that change might be. So, forward bowls again. Is there another catch here? Yes, there is. Magnificent catch at first slip. The edge was taken. Now, Cameron Akmal may have got a glove on that, but the first slipper was behind him and has taken a spectacular catch. And forward Malouk is on a hat-trick. He's got 5 for 4.
Dan, I just love the commentary because we had cut to the toss. You described it as you would in the radio, on the radio.
Let's have a look at this. This
Yeah,
man
this
has
is what
turned
we
this
want to see.
game and just about got Pakistan in the final.
5 wickets for 5 runs. A hint.
Dawar
of
Khan,
time.
what a catch that was at first slip. An absolute Specky. He was going the wrong way. He stuck his hand out and he's hung on to a catch that'll win a match, and that is Selman Afridi. Sensational stuff.
Their ways of getting a fifer, none better than this. This is a typical left-arm orthodox dismissal. 2 wickets back-to-back on a hat-trick for Fawad Malook. He hasn't put a foot wrong today with the ball in hand. He was the one who scored the runs too, provided the impetus towards the end.
8 for 62.
Mohammad Khan's come out to bat, and he's inheriting a scorecard that reads a horror story.
It
28
does.
or 25, this could be close.
Here's Malook, he bowls, driving into the offside again. He just darts it in right on line.
Double wicket maiden, Dan. Double wicket maiden in an all-important semi-final. He's answered above and beyond his call of duty. For every run conceded, he's picked up a wicket. 5 for 5. You have to pinch yourself.
And remember the valuable runs he made at the end to give them something to bowl at, even though again it was under 100. 3 times they've made scores under 100, but I suppose they're going to rely on their batting in the final tomorrow, which I think they'll get to now.
Yeah, he's a fighter, isn't he?
Oh, he's a
Fawad Malook has already
outstanding
got a Player of the
cricketer.
Match award. That sort of gave him even more confidence to keep performing, and he's having a dream run here at the Aussie Cricket League 2.0.
8 for 62, 4 overs to go.
The required rate 6.7. It's still a runner ball, almost a runner ball required. Basit can provide that odd
He
boundary.
can.
You've seen that. He can swing the bat. Now what they need is resistance of top notch. The batters need to look and nurdle the ball around for singles and twos. Take it as close as possible, because a risk factor has to be minimized. If the risk factor goes up, then they're in a danger of being bundled out.
He whacks this one down the ground. It's a good shot, but long on is in the road. He gave himself room, and it brings the left-hander on strike. Saeed Rayhan, who bowled beautifully today, didn't concede many runs off the bat at all. Bowled his 4 overs unchanged. Abdul Lasib, who's been a new inclusion in this side today for Pakistan, in his 3rd over. 27 required now of 23, Suhas.
Is he going for that Yorker? No, he's quite content bowling a length where... Oh, it's a direct hit. He
great
didn't drag the
return.
bat. Did he drag the bat? That's the
Oh,
bigger
I
question.
think he was past, wasn't he? Well past the stumps. You're right, he mightn't have dragged the bat. It was a great return by the captain, Sohail.
You do not want to commit schoolboy errors at this stage, Dan, isn't it? You want to drag the
Let's
bat.
have a look.
He was deep inside the crease, so had more ground to cover. Luckily, it wasn't his end to be thrown at. Basit Ali survives a little scare, because direct hits can always be tricky. Will always be tricky. The ball went absolutely nowhere. Big swing and a miss. The ball was slow. The change in pace is working. And looks like he'll go back to the skill once again, Abdul Hasib, because the batter is looking to tonk the ball with full might. He resets very quickly for a pace bowler as well, Abdul. Excellently done. We were discussing that this region is called the corridor of uncertainty for a reason. This is why you put a bit of less pace on it, and the bat swing comes through a little early for Basit Ali's liking. 12 of 16.
Now
He's playing the casino game here. He's playing all or nothing.
Yes, he's looking to cash in the chips and get his team in the final. Here's Abdul Lasib, and again, and this is cut away cleverly. Basit Ali wants to run, but is sent back because it travelled too quickly to the fielder at backward point. No run.
Akmal's not happy.
No.
Akmal wanted that throw to come in because the batter the batter was looking for the single.
Oh, and the fielder.
And this is where he's looking for a single because, oh no, this was the previous ball. I stand corrected. This is the direct hit that we're showing you. That would have been close. He had to drag the bat there, Dan.
Abdul Lasib in again from the Cranbourne end. A swing with a short delivery. He gets enough bat on that. Basit Ali's having a swing at everything for another run. They all count. So 3 overs remaining. They need 25. The revised target, 90 off 18. And you'd still back Pakistan. Now there's one change to the Indian team. Harsroop Singh is a young player, has been playing here at Cranbourne, so he'll know the conditions. Finally getting his opportunity in the semi-final this afternoon for India.
And he would be feeling like this bird indeed. Absolutely delighted to soar in the sky. Getting an opportunity after waiting for a long time, but getting it at an all-important time in the semi-final as well. Harshrup Singh, he'll add that extra bit of batting prowess to the side as well. And the fact that you mentioned he's played a lot of games on this ground will make him a very handy fielder as he knows the angles better.
He's been described by the president of Cranbourne, Chris Lamb, as their best player this year. He's only a young guy, 23 years old, but gets his opportunity. So they're looking to book a spot in the final.
We've seen him so many times perform well in Patiala back in India. Mohammad Amir, it's going to be express pace or the lack of it.
Can he try and just finish it off here? It would be a wonderful win for Pakistan. They've done a great job here. Again, their batting is an area they must work on. They're still not sure what's gone wrong with it.
Afghanistan 11, would they still be positive here? 25 required of 18 with 1 over of international quality to face.
And he's bowled well today, 1 for 11. Got a wicket early days. This has changed ends, as you said. He's from the Peninsula end. And he gets a bottom edge. Looking to whack that out of the ground. Basit Ali, if he's trying to whack everything out of the ground.
Dan, that is why they say the quicker the bowler you are, the better friend of yours is the slower delivery.
Yes. There's Harry, who's had a change of clothes. Our boss, Paddy, the treasurer of the Cranbourne Cricket Club on the right-hand side, one of the organisers. Harry's lovely wife, who went home and got him a change of clothes after he got wet early days when he put the covers on during the rain delay.
To give it a wide, but Mohammad Amir knows that he's got it right.
That was a slow one, wasn't it, outside the off stump?
Yes. Mohammad Amir is setting the batter up for another slower delivery. Now if it's the extra pace, you know that it's going to rattle the stumps. Mohammad Amir is keeping it outside the arc as well of Basit Ali, who's predominantly looking to go leg side and tease the mid-wicket fielder.
8 for 65, Mohammad Amir bowls again, all right through him. Cameron Akmal saying he's got an edge on that. Basit Ali said no, but the most important person is the umpires. Put the finger up and Basit Ali's out caught behind. Basit Ali standing there.
Basit Ali stood his ground there.
He's gone now and the two umpires are going over to have a conversation. But the umpire's given it out. Cameron Akmal said, "What do you think, umpire?" And the umpire's given it out. And Basit Ali wasn't impressed. There's going to be a review, though.
Basit is still shaking his head. He believes he's not out. But if the finger that matters has gone up, there's only one way that Basit can go, and that's towards the pavilion.
There's a review for caught behind. Yes. This could be the 9th wicket if Basit Ali is given out. If the decision stays as is.
That was close to the bat, yes, but was it the sound of the bat hitting the ball or the bat hitting the ground? Umpire says there is contact between the bat and ball. There was a change in course of the ball, and Akmal's completed the catch. That's the umpire's version of it, and that's what matters.
He's been at his international best today behind the stumps, Cameron Akmal. He made some valuable runs, which I think will get them in the final. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
What about the tactical brilliance of the man, Akmal, with a change in field?
Yes.
And a change in bowling. Absolutely magnificent. When it matters the most, Akmal steps up.
Mohammad Amir, 2 for 11. And look at the face of Syed Rayhan on the camera. He is forlorn. He is crestfallen.
Dan, half an over of Mohammad Amir is done and dusted. He's decided to bowl it away from the stumps. Now do you think with the final man in, he'll choose to attack the stumps? Yes, we have Oswood Timber and Hardware as our presenting partners.
Yes.
We might need some more sets of timber if he decides to break it, Mohammad Amir, with his 145 Ks delivery.
Well, we did lose one stump, didn't we, early in the tournament on the first day. Got split.
And a bail as well.
We did.
The bail had to be assembled like a puzzle. It's not a good sign.
And our other sponsors, Gainwright Accountant, Exclusive Migration, Spectrum Real Estate Group, Sunrise Adelaide Transport, Reliance and Amul among our platinum sponsors, all doing a great job. And our gold sponsors, Air India, Evans Road Medical Centre, BCTA College, South East Wealth, Peach Institute and Callan Development.
This is game on. And it's going to be a cross-seam delivery. It's going to be a cross-seam delivery from Amir. That's interesting. But would it still be a Yorker?
Mohammed Amir with 2 wickets. Bowls out a short one, beaten outside the off stump. He almost fended that through Zarek Asil, and he was standing on his tippy toes. Gee, that was a throat ball by the great man, and he bowled that at very, very quick speed.
It always helps when you have a keeper in form. Akmal hasn't put a foot wrong today as he grabs this one as well. Extra bit of bounce. And the cross-seam delivery is also working. Now he's already tested the chin. Can he go for the foot? Would he be bowling in the block hole? The Yorker is much away.
9 for 65. It's played out in the offside. That's a nice shot. Lovely shot played out in the outside to deep cover. And it's now 9 for 66. 24 required off 13 balls.
For the first time in the entire over, the full face of the bat presented to the cricket ball. The final delivery coming up. What a brilliant session of play this has been for Pakistan 11. They have shown the template for good death bowling. Runs conceded in singles and twos, wickets galore, and they've literally put themselves within touching distance of what would be a very famous victory.
Here's Mohammed Amir, he bowls. He takes a hand off the bat and it's flicked into the onside. And Suhas is jumping up and down here. He's like a cat in a hot tin roof. He beat the short straight mid-wicket fielder and they get a run. He didn't have complete control of the shot. It was a Yorker length ball, but he dug it out, the young man. And Rayhan is 2, Zarek Asil is 1. We've got 2 overs to go, and Afghanistan 9 for 67, chasing a revised total of 90 of 18 overs. Mohammed Amir 2 for 13 off 4. And he and Cameron Akmal pretty happy with each other. Cameron Akmal superb today. They need 23. Can they get them?
22. That is a good enough cushion when you have to hit timber just once to call yourself victorious.
Well, it's all been about wickets. They had to get early wickets, Suhas, and they've got the early wickets. They didn't make enough runs for the 3rd match in a row, but they still might do enough to get over the line. I know they only had to make, and they were batting 2nd against the World 11, they only had to make 94 and they got the job done, but still lost 6 wickets and got the extra runs against India and took it right down to the wire.
I just love the fighting spirit here from Pakistan. They were suddenly told 12 balls less to bowl the team out.
Here's Abdul Hasib, and he tried to whack that out of the ground. Saved Rayhan. It was onto him quicker than he anticipated, a swing and a miss. And again, the sure hands of Cameron Akmal. It's been a feature of this innings. He made 32 with the bat, but I still think Farwood's going to win the man of the match for his unbelievable figures of 5 for 5.
And also crucial runs towards the end to add some cushion to bowl at. Hasib's done well so far.
He bowls and he's on the walk and he decides to whack that down on the onside, drags it on the onside, but he tries to make his ground and hasn't made his ground on the 2nd run. Great return. Cameron Akmal's taken the bails off and the stumps. I thought he might have got home, but it was a forlorn effort in the end. Great return as they thought they had to go for 2, and Pakistan are home and they're in the final. Pakistan are in the final, an outstanding effort. Afghanistan out for 68. They've won by a comfortable margin of 21 runs.
That's a terrific throw as well, and invincible form with the gloves in hand continues for Akmal, in great position to collect it, and it does maximum damage with a minimum swift motion. The batter had to throw himself, the bat, everything at it, but couldn't reach on time. Afghanistan 11 fold for 67, as it's Pakistan 11 who booked a place in the all-important finale.
And Hassan did a great job. Of course, he's come into the team today. A bit like we spoke earlier about Afghanistan, Suhas, that everyone made a contribution and has right throughout the tournament. Not so much with the bat today, but they bowl well again. Pakistan with the ball outstanding, great in the field. Their batting's been an issue. It must improve by tomorrow, but they've won by 21 runs under the Duckworth-Lewis system. And now, of course, they'll wait and see who they'll play. It'll be India and Sri Lanka, which will get underway shortly.
Yes, and Duckworth-Lewis wasn't helping Pakistan 11. In fact, it was more of a burden for them as the equation was reduced. The time was reduced to pick up all those 10 wickets, but they delivered. led by Fawad Malook's 5 wickets and Mohammad Amir chipping in with his important 2. It's been an exceptional performance from Pakistan 11. It hasn't been an easy story for them. They had to wait for India to win to qualify, and now they find themselves in the finale. There's something about Pakistan finding themselves in the finale and waiting for other teams to do well to do so, especially when the games are happening in Australia, T20, eh?
Well, they got pretty excited last night, didn't they? Sahel came in here and he was rapt to know that he was in the semi-finals. We'll probably see him a little bit later as well. He can sit back and relax and know that his team are there. They've won by 21 runs, but what about Farwad's contribution?
It was magnificent. Come the big day, he delivered, and that's the kind of player that you want in the side. He delivered with a bat in hand. He was exceptional with a ball in hand. Afghanistan 11, there was a Nash bomb called Fawad Malook, which has been dropped, picking up a fifer, and at regular intervals ensuring that the best batters are back in the pavilion owing to him and his brilliant deliveries. Kamran Akmal as well will feature in a lot of those dismissals.
He was outstanding. Okay, so they've had a win by 21 runs. Mohammad Amir 2 for 13. Fawad Malook 5 for 5. Kwama Awan 1 for 7 from 1 over. 1 for 17 for Umar Butt. They all did a great job. We've got the next match coming up very shortly between India and Sri Lanka. India have won the toss and elected to bat. They've made one change to their team. We'll confirm the Sri Lankan team and come back with that very important semi-final. The winner, of course, will play Pakistan in the final soon. And just as we speak, it's got a bit dark above. We hope we don't get another Duckworth-Lewis match like we've just had. But what a match, what a performance by Pakistan. Pete Laser and Darren Parkin to kick it off shortly.
Well, that's it. Semi-final number 1 has been decided. Pakistan have taken it out right at the end there with some wonderful bowling by Fawad Malook. So it's time to chat to the captain that's heading out of the tournament, and that is, of course, Adam Amin from Afghanistan. Adam, you know what? That smile has been on his face the whole tournament. Obviously not the result that you wanted, but, you know, first time in the tournament, you guys were splendid.
Yeah, we were good. We still want to be better. Like, we should have won that today, but that's cricket, I guess. At the end of the day, they played a lot better than what we did. So,
Were you surprised after the score that they posted? Were you surprised that you couldn't get it done? What do you think the difference was?
the spinner was the difference, wasn't he? I think we were 5 for 5.
Huge.
So I think that changed the game. Put in their favour, got our best batters out. That's about it. Really, we weren't good enough today.
But let's talk about the experience. As I mentioned, this was Afghanistan's first time fielding a team here in the tournament. Only the second year that this tournament has run. What was the experience like for you and your teammates?
They all really loved it, if I'm being honest. It's a great little setup they've got here. So the boys enjoyed it. You know, shame that we couldn't go all the way, but that's cricket, I guess. It's got to be a winner.
Not bad for your first year. You can go all the way next year, you know?
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, does that mean we'll see you back?
Yeah, I'd like to say so. Just never know what happens next year. Next year's a long way away. So.
And can I just say personally from you, a wonderful tournament, Adam. Obviously, you just improved throughout that tournament. Are you happy with how you played?
Yeah.
So humble.
We can be better. Like, should have been better today. Should have been better the first day. But that's cricket. You can't make them all the time. But yeah, I enjoyed my own tournament. So it was okay.
Wonderful. Their captain certainly led from the front. Congratulations to you on a wonderful tournament. Adam Amin, the captain of Afghanistan. Really great to see them doing so well in their first year in the tournament. And as he just said, they'll be back next year. So let's bring him in. Sohail Sadiq, the captain of Pakistan. Go on, high five. He's so happy. This man has just been floating around the whole tournament. And that's the great thing about the ACL, isn't it? That you can be here watching everyone else's matches and just enjoying yourself even when you're not playing.
Absolutely, you know, great environment. Credit to Harry and his team. They done really well. I think it's benefited me